everybody. Welcome to the CCA Qualifier number 2 for this season. I'm so pumped for this. I am so glad to be joined by my GOAT, OBT. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm on fall break. I got a week off, no work. Feeling awesome. It's not a bajillion degrees in Phoenix anymore, so I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm great. I think I got a little bit lost on my way home from Riptide, but you know.
Yeah, you might have ended up underground somewhere in Incopolis.
Yeah. If anyone knows how to get back to Canada from here, any advice would be appreciated. Thank you.
It looks so good. It's like we're really there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like you're really at your bedroom and I'm really in Undertow.
Excuse me, this is the gaming room for gamers. I'll have you know. All right, that's what this room is called in my house.
I see. Gommel reference. All right. But anyway, to talk about what we're actually here for, we're starting right off with groups in round 1 with Division 2. I'm excited. We're hopping in hot, getting right to the point. Division 2, that's up there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think it's like the regular NCAA whatever division. So 2's pretty high up there. I also appreciate that they put the universities under there because I'm always like, I have no idea where these teams are from sometimes. But honestly, Sam Houston is interesting because I almost went there to get my master's. There's this one tuba guy I really wanted to study with, and he taught at Indiana and also at Sam Houston. And I was thinking about going there, but then I was like, I kind of don't want to live where that is, so I'm okay not doing this. But man, High Tide, University of Alabama, Roll Tide, pretty common U.S. colleges there, so it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I suppose for me as well, as a Canadian, it's hard for me to recognize a lot of these American universities and schools just off of the acronyms alone. So sometimes I get it, you know, you'll walk into a clothing store and they're randomly selling Varsity hoodies for schools that no one in there has ever been to in their whole lives. But for some of these ones that aren't like hot off your tongue like Purdue, it's nice to see the variety like Sam Houston.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of schools I'm always like, dang, I didn't even know that school existed. It's crazy because out east, man, there's just a bajillion tiny little schools. Not to say that either of these schools are tiny, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more schools I feel like out on the other side of the country. So I'm always like, good for you, University of Connecticut, wherever you are. Or sometimes it'll be like really specific colleges too. I'm like, good for you, random college in random state that I've never heard of. But whatever.
Random state you've never heard of? That's me in geography, bro.
I was in the state geography bee in 8th grade. All right, I know my geography bee. But hey, look at that. We're back where Siren is. Look, you can see Siren on the map there on the left-hand side. So we'll get into
terrified. All right, so let's take a look at these comps here. We've got Key Dog on that NZAP, allowing for High Tide to have a little bit more flexibility in that comp there. And very interestingly, I love seeing that well string anytime Rainmaker gets picked. Never know if it's a bow player or not, or just somebody who really likes popping that Rainmaker shield. Either way, they have that multiplier there. That is going to allow them to run up very quickly. They have that Rainmaker picked up and not going to quite make it to that pedestal. Maybe getting a little bit overconfident going for that right-hand side this early on into the game. But nevertheless, it's kind of put SHSU Orange into a weird position here. They kind of have to win this fight, otherwise they're going to get double punished, but shouldn't be too hard. They have a lot of good map control. They have great angles on High Tide, so we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, honestly, I was very much expecting them to just run it left because everybody was down there, but they decided not to, and now it's almost a complete reversal. You're seeing members of SHSU Orange kind of pop the Rainmaker. It's a 2v2 in a minute here, just the backline and the support on both sides with that team using the blue Flings. I have not seen the Flings in forever. Nice pick coming out from the left. I can't even say that name, but are also going to opt to go right.
I'm going to say Felamair. I'm going to go with that. So, I like the use of the back, but I'm not sure about right now. It's just that splatter shot left who's popping that Zuka, probably going to get dived on by the remaining members of or High Tide here as they move up on that left side. But neither of these teams really being able to move that Rainmaker up past the corner here and really get some significant progress made on this game. Undertow is really known for these super dramatic pushes where you make it all the way into the base and it's usually a knockout or very close to it, but neither of these teams 2 minutes into the game have really made much of a dent. It's been a lot of fighting in mid, a lot of specials getting popped, and I think just none of them are going towards the objective, and that's what's hindering both of these teams at this moment.
Yes, but that is going to be a wipeout for the side of High Tide. I think this is hopefully going to be their time to move the Rainmaker. They do have, I think the back is being used literally right now. Yes, it is. There should be a free dunk unless the bow player can't get the pick on T-Dunk, and they do. And it's going to be a continuous stall here again as we see people unable to break through the first checkpoint. Just kidding, that's a wipeout. And now they're going to have to run it back.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's been a struggle for both of these teams. I think because they focus so much of their energy onto these fights, they haven't really had too much of a choice to really get to express their specials and their focus on anything else. So finally, we are looking at a lot more map coverage coming out. Keydog getting forced into this corner here. That Rainmaker is going to be exerting pressure onto everybody and taking out each player one by one, and finally we've broken through that first checkpoint of the game, and now not too sure what we can do with ourselves. Expecting Keydog to take that flank angle is extremely 5-head. We have just transcended mentally, and now time to move.
Yeah, honestly, really good stuff to Trashy there. I know it's kind of weird that they're playing Flingza, but that is absolutely a place that Flingza can get a pick on that Grace. And also showing how useful it is to have Suction Bomb to get that Rainmaker pop here. And I think while it didn't really pan out for him, I do think that was a good play. I just want to highlight that as a former Flingza player myself. But we are seeing no cries here, trying to just kind of defend this area. I don't know exactly what happened, but members of High Tide were going down, and they're going to make a dive for the Rainmaker, but it is just no cries up here on the right side saying, you cannot get this Rainmaker, bro. And it's going to reset it back in the mid with just the decaf player up right now from the side of SHSU Orange.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone is getting to jump right back in. However, given the situation here, we have to make some choices. We're going to have to move up that Rainmaker a little bit. I don't think 57 is very safe, especially for a team that's been challenging that first checkpoint the entirety of the game. So any one wipeout could really do some serious damage here if they're not being too careful about it. And looking at both of the comps of these teams, I believe SHSU Orange is not dealing with any sort of cooler like the side of High Tide is. And that could really make a change in the last 30-40 seconds of the game here. It's just going to be Trashy left and not going to get that shot on the Rainmaker. This could be huge. This could be detrimental for them.
You know, I know I was hyping up the Flingza player, but that is a bona fide, certified Flingza moment, bro. I mean, the horizontal painting on that weapon is just so inconsistent sometimes. Heartbreaker, but it doesn't appear to not go terribly for that team as they were unable to get the dunk. Really good defense coming out from the side of SHSU Orange. Mouthful team to say. As we're heading to the last 10 seconds, I mean, this should be a game pretty much everybody's just paid. They're going to have that Kraken online in about 5 seconds. So it should be pretty much signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, I love seeing that interaction with the Kraken and the VAC at the end of the game there. It's very rare that you'll see one of those specials in any given game mode, I think, nowadays. So getting 2 on either sides is kind of like the situation where you just RNG roll into like the craziest combination. Like you hit the 20 on the D20 twice. So it's always nice to see. I believe that Kraken can just roll right through the VAC and get the VAC user, and that's something not a lot of weapons and specials can do nowadays.
Yeah, I really like the in like kind of the intricacies of VAC because, you know, it pairs really poorly into sword. You can just kind of go through it and roller. And I think that's pretty fun to have like a pretty hard like checkmate for that. And same thing with the Kraken. It's just like whatever. And I also think it's interesting, like you said, because with Kraken, with Rainmaker, like you just get so much value on being able to like, you have to get past the Kraken. Like, you know, if it's going to go to overtime, you got to get past this. And they were just kind of unable to, not that it like super came down to it. Man, a lot of close calls. I feel like we were always 1 second away from disaster, but they just were not able to really get past the first checkpoint either side.
Yeah, I think that kind of opens the dialogue about creating comps in a bigger picture when you start thinking about incorporating back, because I feel like nowadays a lot of the weapons that would have that have a cooler kit instead, and a lot of teams just prefer to have that rather than one specific thing that helps us move the Rainmaker and can clutch out the game, or it can just not work out. So a lot of things to think about there, like 96 Gal has that cooler kit now. It also has, it's probably the most popular Kraken weapon as well. So it's one of those things where you think about it and you're like, okay, I would like to have this, but I would rather have this. And then, okay, we start losing out on aggression when we start playing like NZAP and just a lot of little things like that. So teams that can play it and do it well, like we're seeing here, it's always something interesting to see. It's got me rubbing my hands like I'm a happy little fly. So.
Yeah, Siren is known to pull out the Claws 96 on occasion, so I remember that was pretty hot at Riptide there. A lot of good picks there from Siren. Yeah, shaking her head, she knows, bro. She knows 96 goes off. Yeah, I know what you mean. You just gotta be a kind of a cracking specialist. I'm curious to see what any comps are. I always like CCA teams because I feel like there's a wide variety of people. Sometimes you get those like really dedicated one tricks. Other times you get people that can kind of just roll in and play anything. So I'm kind of unsure what to expect for game 2 here.
Yeah, well, let's take a look-see. Okay, well, it is going to be tower control on Mako Mart. Now, I mean, I've given you guys that information a whole, like, 1 second before it gets released on a stream. And we're seeing quite the changes coming out from both comps. That E-leader coming out onto the side of, I believe, SHS... No, it's High Tide. Oh, wait. And that Luna Blaster on the side of SHSU Orange. So, I mean, take me through this one, OBT. What's your rationale? What is your thought process looking at both of these teams?
Low-key, I think Luna Blaster is actually pretty good on this map. I've seen a lot of people use it. This Luna Blaster in particular. Because again, man, you got the Fizzy, you can be able to control edges. Not that Trashy's opting to do that. They're kind of waiting, trying to get a hammer snipe here. But I feel like, man, that makes sense here. The brush beacon, beacon brush is a little bit of a surprise here. I feel like, again, man, I know they nerf Kraken on tower, but it still gets a lot of value. No Cries here trying to kind of jump in there, but it has just been a really big stagger from the side of High Tide going into this first kind of fight here. I mean, they're already down to 43 here, and I don't see any time to stop it anytime soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, that Luna Blaster was playing so far back, and I was like, this is the most oppressive pressure I've ever seen from a Luna Blaster playing 50 feet away from their opponents. I'm actually quite impressed with that. So going into this next push, I'm kind of expecting Trashy to play under this ledge a little bit more, getting the trade on Decav. I would still consider that pretty big value. That is a bubble player out of your hair. Glad to see it. We do get the jump out there, and that's going to effectively operate as a reset for the members of High Tide here. Looking to maybe get some picks early on here, maybe build up some pressure. They do have that cooler, which is a great initiator for that push. And with that wave breaker coming out, they can rest easy knowing nobody's going to come behind them and flank them anytime soon. But who needs to when you can just drop down from the ledge and just get 2 or 3 picks anyways?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like, I saw that happening in slow-mo. I was like, oh no, dude, they just got their feet painted by the bow. The blaster's going to drop on them, and that's exactly what happened there. I feel like for all of these quirks, man, the SHSU Orange top is actually doing pretty well. I mean, you got AoE, a lot of paint on the ground. And on the top of that, you also have strikes, which is just great for any kind of overtime push, which is great when you have the lead like they do right now. And again, no signs of stopping here. Have not been able to see anything from the University of Alabama team so far. And I feel like Coolius is doing a really good job of putting pressure onto these ledges. If not by themselves, but with the rain, with the giant rain buff. I remember I saw that at Riptide, and I was like, dude, this is crazy how big that rain cloud is. I feel like you have to respect it way, way, way more. But finally seeing some signs of life here from the side of High Tide, as it's going to be just the bow player, and this should be their first push here on this first check.
Yeah, Apollo there making a great dent, dropping off that ledge and getting a couple members of SHSU Orange. They did go down in the process, however, they did open that door for their teammates to move in a little bit further here, finally burning through that first checkpoint. Felomare is going to stand up on that top left ledge and just rain down shots. Do they have anything that can really deal with it? I think the best option for them is going to be that E-leader, but that angle is so rough. Kind of forced to back up all the way down through the center of mid and play a low ground. Is going to jump out there, seeing the warning signs of SHSU Orange running back here, and we could see Trashy right back in that same spot of like, I'm going to sit back here, I have my hammer ready, and I can make it a problem for you whenever I want, and you can't touch me.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, man, I think that like leader position that they're fighting on, where they keep dropping on the right side, is just like so insane to me. They started the match there also. But yeah, as well as I feel like SHSU Orange is doing, I feel like they've not been able to clear that very crucial second checkpoint. In general, I find that their two fronts are kind of just going down right before they're able to actually get the tower in place, which is kind of unfortunate. But again, man, they do have a slight lead, no checkpoint lead on the side of SHSU Orange. But man, no signs of stopping, as that's going to be another team fight win, and they're back on the tower side.
It feels like SHSU Orange is feeling they seem to be very confident in that 40 push that they've gotten. Really playing patiently when it comes to High Tide moving up into their spawn. You see, there's not really any panic. They kind of stick to their guns. They stay in the spots that they know they can survive in. And that bow player is just raining shots on the tower and having a really hard time contesting that. I feel like at this point, 45 seconds left to go, there's going to have to be some significant fight win in mid for High Tide to stay in this. Getting these trades is not going to be quite enough for them. They're going to have to maybe make some kind of flank, deal with the oppressive pressure that has been coming out of SHSU Orange this entire game. Where's the sauce? What are the tools? What can we do?
Yeah, and I feel like, man, that's just been like trade city in general here. And also now it's really unfortunate now we're kind of dealing with a game dynamic thing of like, now honestly the members of SHSU Orange can kind of just paint for strikes, and that should be games that they played pretty far back enough. I know myself as a strike player, I know right now I'll be building strikes, just trying to stay as far back as possible, try not to die to anything random here. But I guess it's not even going to matter, as they're not even going to attempt to get feet onto the tower, and this is going to be just a straight up game win for that team.
A very strong win for SHSU Orange. Like I said, they've played this set very confidently. They kind of understand what they're going into here, and I guess that's the benefits of having a league of schools and knowing who you're going to be facing week by week. And I suppose with it being round one as well, they had the most time to kind of think this one out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think it's cool how many just teams there are in general. I think it's awesome how much CCA has grown in the last however many years. I just feel like there's so many schools taking part of it now, and it's become way bigger than it used to be. And I feel like it's all because of the really awesome people that help run the events, but also just because I think it's a really fun vibe just to kind of meet up with your people that you can see in person, and also just talk with them. There's a lot of people that cross over from different skill levels and different teams. And I just think the whole thing is really exciting. Plus, man, that's a fire logo coming out from the side of High Tide. I know they just lost 2-0, but man, that is a great logo. Shout out to whoever made that for them.
I'm quite a fan as well. SHSU definitely has that very, I don't want to say generic logo for a school, but it's like if you showed that to me, I would be like, that is the logo they're using for all the esports team at Sam Houston State University. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You got to have some camaraderie of the other teams representing your school, right? Even if they're from a different game, even if it's Call of Duty, we need to make peace in this world.
Yeah, I think I'm always torn on that because I don't know, man. I think it's cool that you have a unified gaming logo, but it does also kind of suck because you can't have a fun little Woomy in there, you know what I mean? My favorite esports logo is definitely the US. I think it's the US Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara, the banana slugs. They're called Slug Gaming, and they have this really cool slug. He's got this hard pose that he's doing. So yeah, shout outs to Slug Gaming. Would love to see a Splatoon tournament, a team come out of that one. But yeah, that's gonna be 2-0 for Sam Houston State University. Moving on to the next round here. So yeah.
No, it's not. They play all three.
Oh, just kidding. It says it literally right above my head. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'll learn how to read one day. I'm a teacher, y'all. I got this. But yeah, we get to see another game at least. So, I mean, play all three is kind of I always like it just because, I mean, it's always easier when you win, of course, because you're oh, dude, I already won the match. But I don't know. I always feel like it's at least that time to put up a little, a point on the board, say, we could have won this had we done, games 1 and 2 differently. So, yeah.
I think they can, and I think it's good, too, for consistency's sake. Sometimes if you just win the set really fast, if you just, 2-0 somebody, there's, potentially sitting around waiting while other people still get to play the game. So, I like it. I'm quite the fan.
Yeah, I know, that's a very interesting aspect of that, because sometimes, man, if it's a fast 2-0, you're sitting there for a really long time getting mount warm. But man, a lot of interesting weapons coming out from SHSU. You're seeing the bow come out from Felomare, and again, man, the crab sniper coming out from Coolios. Man, very flexible team for the side of the orange team here.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see that. I think this is actually the first time I've seen somebody pull out this crab charger in any competitive setting. So I'm hyped to see it. You know how popular crab tank is as a weapon on hagglefish zones in particular. A lot of really good spots to pull that out. And speaking of good spots to pull out a special, that splatter color screen going to be deployed for the members of SHSU Orange, but that has not deterred High Tide whatsoever. Apollo going to be moving up, taking out their, I believe it's a reflux this time around, and that's going to be great for them. That's one of their best painters on the side of SHSU Orange, and that's going to allow them to kind of coast by and hold the zone for a lot longer.
Yeah, really good crap coming out from Coolios here. Gonna say, this is my zone. You gotta back up, respect my crap. Also, interesting, Simon, I'm like 90% sure that this was the brush player from earlier on in the set. I guess they must be one of those brush charger one tricks, kind of like Twig from Aquatic Vanguard. But hey, they were able to get the flip while I was yapping there. And I will not a too crazy lead from the side of High Tide, but man, Unknown Hero kind of walking up here, gonna hopefully get camp this jump here. Throwing the wall at it. Why is he gonna back up, but isn't gonna get taken out from the other side of the wall there?
Yeah, I guess when one door opens, the other one closes, right? We're popping that bubble, moving up onto that right side. We are desperate to take up this member of SHSU Orange. I suppose it's really on now. They've lost the set, but like you said, they're coming in with a vengeance. They want to prove that this could have been their set as well, just as equally. And they're doing a really good job. It's a great showing so far. Having that zone pushed down to 51, it seems like SHSU Orange has been getting these little caps here and there. However, looking like they're kind of popping all of their specials just to move through there. They popped that killer whale. They popped their crab tank just now. So what extra do they have to deal with the members of High Tide who are running back in here, have the specials ready for the fight? Like, they have nothing, and they go 2 down because of it.
Low-key, man, No Cries just got like the pick. Like every time I dive forward into 2 people, I want it to end like that, where they both die instantly. But you know, sometimes, man, you got to gamble a lot to get a high roll like that, and high roll indeed they did find. They are kind of grouped up here in the death zone of the ramp right now, especially with the bow shooting at them. The crab tank going to come out from clear again, unable to kind of find its mark from the people. They wisely are going to jump out, using the cooler to their advantage here. And I've seen this happen when the splatter color screen comes out, the crab's also on. I feel like it's actually impairing the vision of the crab player. They're really showing off how much paint the Flings Roller can throw onto the zone. That's going to be a nice cat there to kind of stall out the progress of High Tide.
Yeah, I think you brought up my biggest beef with splatter color screen. It's a special that I want to like so much more as a gal player, right? However, I just can't get behind it, both like metaphorically and literally. I can't get behind it. I can't see anything. So, oh, not quite getting to pop our Trizuka just yet, and we burnt through that penalty onto the zone. The cooler coming out as well. That is going to allow them to push up the same way they've been doing this entire game. Get past that zone. We have that bubble at the ready. This is a great place to pop it. I agree with this wholeheartedly. However, getting shredded really quick is going to force us to go back and take this. That's not fair! No Cries, stop it!
You know, I hear that that's a common complaint from gal players, specifically against swords, is that they can't impact them through the wall, and that was like textbook, bro. Oh my gosh. I feel like right now, man, High Tide's just been doing a really good job of using cooler, jumping out when they need to, and especially when you have a decap player that can kind of just spawn in and kill everybody, it works out really well. But right now, this should be a lead flip unless Keydog has anything to say about it. They are going to get the cap onto that zone here with a minute remaining, but man, with only 20 pen on both sides, no one is safe right now.
Yeah, you could see that Decaf putting in a valiant effort to try and make some progress on the zone. Is going to go down for it, however, Keydog here to pick up the pieces, has that Zook at the ready. Spato, I think this is a flank. This is like a crazy flank. 35 seconds left to go, and SHSU Orange basically has no penalty here. No Cries is going to have to do something crazy here, but unfortunately not going to quite work out for them. 25 seconds left to go, and SHSU Orange has reclaimed that lead for themselves. The splatter color screen is going to play checkmate here as they run into the... Well, never mind. Hold on. Wait, there's potential.
Yeah, man, Unknown Hero really showing the hero there at the very end of the match, getting a lot of really crucial picks onto them. Now, honestly, man, they do get the cap here, but they do have a little bit of a ways to go, especially going 2 down with the last one. Going into overtime is not what you see, is just the heavy at it, and this should be a pretty much another side seal delivered game for SHSU Orange. Again, 3-0, but that last game was close, though.
It was super, super close. Honestly, just one extra fight win would have warranted them that win. And I think their biggest struggle may have been these long-term holds. It just felt like both of these teams put their priorities in different places. And while I don't quite agree with the way that SHSU Orange was using all of their specials to get back in every time because they just didn't have anything else to hold for most of the game. They kind of clocked in towards the end and got the lead that was just barely enough to get them through that.
Yeah, again, just a series of unfortunate events for the side of High Tide. They were doing so well, but they just were caught out of position there and able to go down to the incredible killing power of the 52. With that one splatter shot screen really netted them that one kill on the ramp. They were able to push up there. And after that, they just, even though they got the zone cap, they weren't able to hold, like you said. And that's the hard thing about zones is, you know, it's not about necessarily how well you did the whole match. It's like, can you hold when you need to get the point advantage? And I feel like SHSU Orange, even though they were kind of getting their butt handed to them for most of the match, they were able to clutch it up in the very end, like you said. So yeah, very interesting. But again, the 3-0 does not tell the whole story here. So again, very good stuff to Sam Houston State University. But also, man, I think University of Alabama's got something to say in the next round, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be staring down that Send Out Inc. bracket. I'll be making sure everything is going well for them because I'm always rooting on the underdog in any given tournament, just like every other Splatoon player ever, to be honest with you. Everyone thinks they're so cool and unique by cheering for the team that's not FT Win or not Voie Lactée, but let's be so for real right now. Everyone's favorite team is Moonlight, and there's one distinct reason for that, so...
Pro Chara. I'm just kidding.
You got me.
I know
That's
what you
my
mean, though.
boy. That's my dog.
Well, you know, it's kind of the paradox of, not saying this really has, like, anything to do with this last match, but, like, when you're number one, man, everybody just cheers against you. I've talked to many a fighting game player where they're like, yeah, man, it sucks. When you get to the top, everyone just hates you all the time. All the time, man, all the time.
You could be the best person ever, but if you're number one, you're public enemy number one as well.
Yeah, and it sucks because, like, the longer that you're number one, the more people want to just root for your downfall. It sucks, man. It sucks about getting to the top. But alas, you know, this is Division 2. They're not exactly quite there yet. But they are close. They're close, though, getting to that Division 1. I think Division 1's being cast on the other stream. By the way, there's 2 streams, if you don't know that. There's us, and I believe the other one is IPL. So if we're waiting on this match, maybe IPL's got some up. You should have both the streams up. Support CCA with all this cool collegiate cephalopod action going on today.
Yeah, and with that being said, I think we should take a quick little break while round 2 or round 1 wraps up. If they still have that stream running on IPL, you should definitely hop over there for the time being, do some stream hopping, say hello to the other casters. That's going to be Spicy and Soab.
Spicy and else that starts with an S will be over there to greet you. You can learn what her name is if you check out IPL.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher it too hard, but yes, go check them out. So we'll be back in a bit with round 2.
Falling, 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 'cause we'll start falling, falling. Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Shape the mind, speeding up the pace, turning up the heat, where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
All right, what up, everybody? I'm OBT. We are back with the CCA Circuit Qualifier number 2. I'm here joined by my amazing teammate Siren, who is now apparently on the Peak Mountain. Oh no!
It's so cold. Help!
Oh no! Watch out for that scary skeleton dude that lives up there.
What?
Dude, you don't know about the scary crazy skeleton dude up there, bro?
I've never seen him. I've been up this mountain before.
This guy does not know about the crazy skeleton dude. So yeah,
We're
watch
pointing
out
in the
for
wrong
them.
Direction.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's mirrored over. This guy does not know about the scary skeleton dude. Anyway, we got MTSU Star, by the way, MTSU Star versus Axion Splatters. Again, this is Middle Tennessee State University, cool name, versus a Canadian team from the University of Alberta.
Yeehaw! Honestly, both of these teams are very yeehaw for their given countries.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee seems like it's out there. You know what I mean? Like I've never even heard of this college. That's another college I've never heard of. Isn't Alberta?
Yeah.
Is that in the Plains area?
It's right in the middle of Canada. It's the east of BC. It's definitely our yeehaw province.
You know, my
We
one.
got the
I remember.
Stampedes, the Cowboys, you know, all that fun stuff.
Oh yes, all the flatland people.
Yeah.
I remember when I owned a globe and it had all the Canadian provinces in their capitals, and I always wanted to go to Yellowknife because I was like, that's a hard name, man. Yellowknife in the middle of nowhere, and I'm sure one person lives there. Also,
Yeah.
fun fact, I don't know if you know this, man. What's that big bay in the north, east part of Canada? I can't remember the name of it. It's that giant bay.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I know what you mean. It's the one with the, yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what
But
it's called
fun
right
fact
now.
for everybody, around that bay, which is most of Canada, the rivers actually flow from south to north.
We have a
as
game,
opposed to
OBT.
north to south. I just like geography, whatever, bro. Speaking of geography, there's no water to be found here on Umami Ruins. Check out these comps. A weapon that Siren hates, the brown long blaster coming out. Weapon I love, the flipping Dread Ringer on that side. And we got missiles and a Hoodra coming out of the side of Axion Splitters.
Okay, well anyway, that's the winter rapid, it's gray. But anyway, it's gonna be picking up a few clams here. We're halfway to a Tacticooler. No one's really getting much in the way of picks so far in this game. Really just kind of throwing stuff at each other. I mean, look at 10 of missiles. That Wiper does go down. It's just gonna leave the roller here on that right side, who is gonna have to desperately avoid everything getting chucked at them. But again, I feel like things still look a little bit better for MTSU Spark right now.
Yes, looking really good for MTSU Spark Stars. They are going to get the pick. The Reef side are going to be wasted there. Tachyon's going to find a kill. And will look like, man, they had decent economy and a decent hold. It's now looking like a great hold for the side of MTSU. They don't have any clams. They seem to have forgotten the name of the mode. It's Clam Blitz, not just run into their basket and try to kill everything Blitz. That's not a fun name. All right, but again, Marcado on what I still consider the brown blaster here. Going to find a pick there onto Dimples.
All right, well we can do some color hue study after this, but
It's
anyways.
brown. It's literally brown. Anyway.
Here's a weapon you hate so much. Reef Slider Generator. Dreadringer here. Speaking of Reef Slider, we do have one at the ready, but again, we are not sitting on any kind of clam economy right now. Both teams have 8 clams, but whether that's allocated into something meaningful in the form of a power clam is a different question entirely. We split up our resources, and now it's just a few different people holding up an accumulated total of 11, and now 6 because the roller had 5 of them, I guess. So we're still on the struggle bus 2 minutes into this game. Can we make a power clam? We can get to the base. We have 1 out of 2 check marks here, but again, I'm yet to be impressed.
This has been the most nothing burger game of all time. Also, I don't even know how the Dreadringer survived. They reached into 4 people, ran away, and lived. They have still not getting the pick on the blaster there. They still have a lot of clams. This would be a great time to get some kind of picks going. Starts out with one from the side of Bean here on the Hydra. Man, I just feel like no one has been able to get onto any side. It's been like the Cold War standoff of Umami Clan Blitz. Dreadringer gonna actually find one, gonna immediately retreat though, trying to live there. Walks into a bomb. I've been there, brother. Hate to see it happen. They do have a power clam. They are going to open the basket finally with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
No, they didn't open the basket. They weren't close enough.
No! This is terrible. This is awful commentation.
We've been under their basket this whole game, and the second that we get a power clam, we can't get under the basket. This is crazy, OBT. I don't want to sound like a hater, but both of these teams have one thing going for them each, and they need both things. They need both things. One team is really good at making power clams, but they're just sitting in their own base and they can't get out. The other team is all over the place, but yet, can we what? What? We were right there!
You know, Umami is pretty hot. They were really thirsty. They went back to grab the cooler, and they died for it. They hopefully are not going to make a power clam. They're going to jump out trying to save the clam economy. What is happening, Siren?
I'm going to shave my head bald after this. This is like, what are we doing? We had 7, and there was one right there. We just picked off literally everybody on the side of Axion Splatters. Are we allergic to this? Do we not want to dunk a power? Like, are we just doing this for tension? Is this scripted?
Yes, this is the great mid-off of Umami Clam Blitz right now, man. I can't even believe this. This was definitely a moment. If you're going to bond review this, if you're watching this back, MTSU SAR, the Spark or whatever, man, that's definitely a moment of like, yes, it's nice to have cooler, but it's also nice to move the objective into the right direction. They're going to go right into that. They're going to drop that and not be able to get it. This has been an absolute crazy match of so many times, man. Everything is right for MTSU Spark, and they just are not able to pull the trigger here. Finally, Axion Splatters enjoying looking at not their base for 1 second. Gonna get taken out by Mystique there. And we're right back to where we started, Siren.
I'm going to lose my mind if they don't dunk this power clam right now. You have 7. It's right there. Oh.
Hallelujah. Finally gonna open the basket with 15 seconds remaining. I don't know what Axion Splatters can do. They do need to stop any and all clams. Terrible clam spawn for the side of the orange team there, and I think that's going to be a game, unfortunately, there, Siren, for them.
4 minutes of this, OPT.
You know, sometimes, just like in X-Rank, it's just like nobody can really do anything, and it comes down to, I guess, we are finally going to open the basket with 15 seconds, and that's going to be the game. But what's the opposite?
Sorry for losing my composure there, but what on earth?
You know, sometimes when you're doing pulls, man, it's whoever can just do the least bad, and that sure was MTSU Spark with the star. They were definitely the least bad on that match. But oh my gosh, man, I hope the teams are better on the second. Well, good golly.
I would hope so. I would really, really hope so.
You know, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe they just don't got Clan Blitz out in the middle of these random states and provinces, man. Like, they just don't do Clan Blitz out there. They're doing all those zones-only matches. I don't know.
Maybe. You know what? This is the impact of being zones only. This is the future you wanted.
The children have forgotten how to play Clan Blitz. I hope you're happy.
The radical diff horrors and their propaganda.
Yeah, this is the side the Div 4 clam haters want, bro. This is the future they want, man, when everybody just looks at each other for 4 minutes. Also, if this was like a sports game, like if this was Rocket League, they would have like so many like ball on goal or whatever, like where it's headed to the goal, and then they just wouldn't score. Like that'd be like the stat line. If we could pull that up, bro, how many balls they threw at the basket or got to the basket and then didn't open it would be like 5. I swear to God, man, that was insane. I've never seen that many misses. Or like when everything is ready to go, man. Because I was just, and it was like disaster. I feel like if we were gonna replay that, man, it'd be like every single time something would be going great, and then they would get taken down. And then especially with that reef slider under the basket that lost the power clam, and then they had to come back and do it all again.
Okay, what I will say, the defining trait for me is the fact that if this happened in like an open lobby, and like, you know, like this exact game happened, but in open. I think the members of Axion Splatters may have reported MTSU Spark for unsportsmanlike conduct. They would just think it's on purpose that they just keep running in and never dunking a clam.
I don't know, man, but oh my good golly, man. I'm so curious to see what's going to happen. And both these teams, I believe, won. Yeah, no, sorry. MTSU won the last round of there, so they're 1-0. Axion Splatters is down 0-1 right now. Looking like potentially an 0-2. I hope the team from the great country of Canada is able to put something together.
Same. I hope so. I mean, especially if we're going into splat zones later. Are we doing that? Let me look at this. Let me look at this bracket. Oh, Rainmaker on Humpback. Okay.
Another certified hood classic from Splatoon 2, Rainmaker Humpback. Man, I feel like this is going to be a lot of the same. I feel like it's going to be a big stalemate in mid until somebody gets knocked out, somebody gets taken out, and then they just get knocked into the oblivion right there. Also, dude, shout out to the MTSU logo. That is a fire logo. I know I keep talking about logos, but that's a good one. It just looks really cool. I don't know what Middle Tennessee is. Thank you. Axion's got a nice, cute little logo. Look at that, bro. They are the Axion Splatters. So, yeah. Very cool stuff. Wow, they got a Bamboo and GooTuber player on their team. I hope that person's on their team. That'd be awesome.
E-Pawns listed. Sorry, I just looked at the last player on Axion Splatters.
Wow, double matching team banners. Love to see it as we're getting into this match here. A Carbon coming out from the side of, I believe, that is MTSU Spark.
All right, wait, no, what? Where's the Carbon?
Tachyon.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking at the other team.
On my old age.
I think the colors hadn't updated yet. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I'm sorry, now you should be able to know that Axiom has an AX in their name. I'm just kidding.
Sorry, I don't read.
Man, before the colors show up, you're like, man, I hope it's this team. Anyway, while we were doing all that, man, Axion Splatters is going to get taken down here in mid. You already have members of MTSU Spark Star moving up onto their side of the map. Going to just wisely just kind of retreat her, painting for that reach slider. Not going to find it, unfortunately, as they are going to try to opt to run the Rainmaker back right into that barrage of missiles and going to get taken down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already off to a better start than the last game by picking up the Rainmaker and putting it on the objective, so I'm excited to see that. Axion Splatters here are kind of sticking in the defensive positions they have, which might work out to benefit them in the long run here if MTSU Spark plays as aggressively as they had been. It can be a lot more punishing in something like Rainmaker, I believe, where basically the objective is just sitting right in front of you and always has a giant target on it. So I think this could work out for them, but they're going to have to opt into moving a lot more forward rather than back. You can kind of see that we're playing it very, very safe here, almost a little bit timid dealing with these members of MTSU Spark who have no qualms picking up this Rainmaker whenever they do so feel like it.
Yeah, missiles coming out. This is a great time for the other team to run forward, but actually MTSU is taking that opportunity to run the Rainmaker forward through the missiles. Good bomb pick coming out from there, and I wanted to highlight, man, Bean was not where I typically see backlining, which is right about there. That would, I think, have been a better safe position, because I feel like if Bean was up there, they would have been able to avoid the reach side and just beam down the Rainmaker. But unfortunately, that's not exactly what happened. Is again, man, Mystique's trying to put some great pressure on this right side. Just kidding, they're going to back up and then run right into the brush. I've been there, brother. Sometimes you just think that they're going to back up and they don't back up. But Velvet here holding down their elbow, saying, you must get rid of me if you want to move the Rainmaker at all. Another pickup coming out from the side of Yellow Team. Going to find a double from the hammer. Oh, no.
He has taken out Bean and Dimples at the same time. Is going to go all the way down to that left flank route while we have that Rainmaker moved up here. But it looks like all members of Axion Splatters are going to collapse on this one corner, is able to take out that Rainmaker here. Now it's just going to be Mystige running back with that Reef Slider. Still at the ready. We don't need to worry about that right now. But again, the onus is still going to be on Axion Splatters to get that Rainmaker out of here, and with that being a wipeout, that is going to be quite the difficult uphill battle. We have that hammer getting popped from Velvet here, so it's just going to be up to the members of Axion on the upper layer to deal with it. But again, that Wiper, it just has that capability. It can just shoot up and deal with things.
Man, that's a Twitter clip. We're going to see that on Twitter later today, Siren. That's an awesome clip for Velvet. Really good job showing what happens when you drop into a Wiper with pain control, with hammer there. Just going to get eaten up and spit back out. There's going to be MTSU taking the set. We do have another game after this, but by golly, man, what a hot set. Would love to see the stats from Velvet on that one.
Yeah, I definitely... Velvet, post your stats.
Why'd you just say it like Lothar God? You're like, Velvet, post your stats.
Post those stats. Go on, Velvet.
Chat, bro. Just add us, bro. Add us. I want to see the numbers, man. I want to see the numbers.
At Obese Tyrese.
Somebody,
I
was at a party yesterday, and somebody told me like added my name as Obese Tyrese. It's weird because they like, yeah, I got it from a Smash player. And I was like, it's just weird to like go by just to hear Obese Tyrese my full name. I feel like it's so long now compared to OBT.
Yeah. Anyone ever just call you obese or just Tyrese?
The Rivals people did call me Tyrese. They would call me Tyrese for a long
okay.
time. No one. I feel like calling me obese would be like really messed up. Like, hey, what's up, obese?
I think I'm gonna
I'd be
do
like,
that,
hey,
though.
what's up, Banshee? Like, or shout out to Glitch Cactus, bro. That's like when you call him Glitch. By the way, if anyone ever sees Cactus, he loves being called Glitch. Don't listen to me. All right, he loves Glitch or Glitch Cactus with a 1 or Blue Gamer 11. That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
Gotta Google that later. Get some blackmail material.
Oh, it's definitely blackmail material. So again, I'm gonna say, you know, don't do that if you don't want to bully Cactus. But just don't Google Blue Gamer 11. That'd be bad.
Okay, whatever you say, obese.
Shut up. I'm gonna start calling you Banshee. Banshee is also kind of a hard name though. Although it's a lot, it's not as cool as Siren with a CY.
CY. I've gone by Siren for a while.
Ren. CY Ren. There we go.
CY Ren. Sometimes I get Kieran or like.
Oh no.
Kyron.
These are all not. That's not how English works. All those things. That's Siren. It's like Cyan Ren.
I mean, a lot of people have names that are pronounced like. You see the word Sinead?
No, I'm not.
Or is it spelled like Sinead? Or like Sean and it's spelled Scene?
See, I feel like that one's okay though. My biggest issue with tags back in the day was I'm like, too many consonants. You need to have more vowels to make a name. Your name cannot be 80% consonants. That's not how words work.
I need to find a new tag then. I need even more consonants.
No, think about it though. Yours is 40% vowels though, if you count Y's. So
If
I
you,
think that would make
it's
sense.
a sometimes vowel.
Well,
So.
even like look, even like Axion, that's a decent amount of vowels. It's got to be some kind of ratio of vowel to consonant. Be sure to keep getting off topic. Here's the next match coming at you. Man, a lot of comp changes out today as we're seeing the dualies and the Kraken shot and the bubble Hydra coming out from the side of Axion.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love this map. And I love Kraken on Splatter shot. Let's go. We're pulling out a lot of the new kits on the side of Axion Splatters. So it's nice to feel fresh. Nice to feel clean. And it's nice to grab that tower this early in the game.
So fresh and so clean. Sorry. But man, I feel like if you were going to go back and watch the beginning of that, it was really just obvious how the teams were feeling. It was very confident, that very classic crescent moon shape coming out from the side of MTSU. They took control of that top left area immediately, and because of that, Axion Splatters kind of just stayed where they are right now on that low ground in the middle and was able to get collapsed on. And right now, man, Velvet is showing no signs of stopping. Gonna take it to him. Dimple's going on the flank of Destiny there. Gonna get taken out, unfortunately, as we're already at the last checkpoint. Good golly.
Good golly, we have that tacticooler up on that top. We're popping a crab in the gutsiest position I have ever seen. We're just playing dance around the dimple. So I don't know. Jub's up here on that top right. We have to clear out this area entirely. We almost have those Tenta missiles at the ready. And that cooler coming out is good, but it feels like that Carbon's a little bit thirsty and doesn't realize that the drinks are blue.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just get in the heat of battle, you just get blinded there, and you see any drink, you're like, gotta have it, bro. But right now, man, Dimple's trying to put some work on there. Very early bubble coming out from the Hydra. Would have been awesome to have the bubble for literally right now with the crab, and Dimple is unfortunately going to take a swim there in the cold, icy waters of this stage. As we're seeing Velvet already back on the tower trying to push his left-hand side.
Yeah, honestly, I get it. I could honestly I could go for a swim right now. I miss Riptide. Velvet is gonna be riding around this tower here. I like that they've been taking this top left section here. It's nice when they have that team fight, however, that's not gonna quite pan out for them this time around, given that their teammates did go down, and that edit is gonna be riding the tower this whole way. Just one more member left hugging that tower is gonna jump out. They've extended their lead down to 9 points left on the board, and Axion Splatters still yet to get anything on the scoreboard for this game. I'm still holding out hope for them. They're still getting picks here and there when they need to, but I just wish that more of their efforts could be exerted towards moving up and moving forward past their own base, because look at this, we've had to already pop a couple things. That bubble is not getting to be used in an aggressive way. We're just only using it in the defensive position.
You know, it's kind of like that thing of don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes. I feel like right now, man, somebody on the members of Axion sees anything or wants to do anything, but like, we gotta pop literally everything right now at this. Right now, I mean, this is the first time we've been able to pop any special, moving the objective towards the first checkpoint. It's gonna be cooler of all things. I feel like there's so many good specials on the side of Axion that they're just not, unfortunately, able to take advantage with. And a huge flank coming out from the Carbon should be the end of this push right there. And this is just that person alive going to wisely retreat there. But man, unable to even get onto the board here, really.
Oh no, and that Booyah Bomb perfectly corralling a couple members of Axion Splatters together, perfectly lining them up for the Carbon Roller Tachyon to move up, and now has control of basically Axion Splatter's base. Is going to jump back to the tower and play this around their teammates a little bit more. And at this point in the game, we have a minute left. We don't really need to dive towards the tower if we don't really feel that we can get the knockout at this point. And with that Hydra sitting up on that top left there, I kind of understand the rationale between not getting that close to them. It's not a fight you really want to be taking this far in, especially if you have such a good lead like they do. So even just trades are going to be beneficial for them at this point. It's just Dimples, but still running around, trying to get whatever picks they can. It's still just going to be this Carbon Roller riding that tower, getting these jump-ins as well. A couple of members going down, is going to get taken out. However, the tower is still moving. Bean, look to your right, please!
I feel like, man, it's so crazy. The camera's having a hard time catching it all. But I just feel like every single time we've been so close to this. 1 point remaining, by the way. It is just the Hydra. There we go. But I feel like every single time we were close on Axion Splatters to breaking out and getting a good play, I feel like MTSU Spark was able to find another gear, another play for it. Man, and just every time the camera was on, and they were able to just kind of dunk on whoever was in front of them. So good stuff to MTSU Spark. That was a very dominant game for that one. And man, I feel like just kind of unfortunate for the side of Axion. I just feel like they were able to wait a little longer, save their specials for close to the objective, and also watch the flanks, man. I feel like they would have just been just fine on that map. But hard loss, but that's okay. They are down, but not out. We still got another round to play.
How exciting. I feel like that set went very quick. I am anticipating getting the ping very shortly here from our broadcaster, basically saying, hey, we can go for a little bit of a break. There's going to be quite the window of time between this set and the next one. I'll wait for the confirmation there, but I believe most likely it'll be us going to a break here.
Yeah, but really great stuff to Middle Tennessee State University, taking it all over Axion Splatters. But hey, Axion, remember, you still got another round to play, down but not out. All right. And hey, I just got a confirmation from on high that yes, we are going to go to a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for another round of cool CCA action.
Wow. Welcome back, everyone, to CCA Division 3. Okay, we're going to all the divisions. We start at 2, go to 4, now we're in 3. I'm excited. We have UCSD, Esports Navy, University of California, specifically San Diego versus Titans of Alterna, which is a very cool Splatoon name. California State. Oh, wait, this is meta.
Siren was not paying attention when they told us that this is 2 California schools, but that's okay. I'm OBC here, and what's crazy is this is the California Hood Classic. So there's 2 systems in California for colleges. There's the University of California system and then the Cal State system. So this is technically 2 people from like opposing California university systems going up against each other. All right, I think this is the second team because I think there's USD Esports Gold. By the way, super baller that some schools have so many Splatoon players they need multiple teams. But yeah, man, I feel like this is a pretty cool thing. West Coast Classic going down there. Siren's joining us, by the way, from Ponyville. I don't know if that's obvious to everybody out there.
Bro, who? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention when you guys said it was 2 California schools. I was too busy taking my chariot. I was flying into Ponyville, making sure the weather was clear, you know.
This guy. Oh, I pointed the wrong direction. This guy. Sorry, this pony.
I needed a different location, you know.
I know, going across the multiverse here. Started with Undertow Spillway, then we went to the Peak Mountain, and now we're here in Ponyville. All right, I don't know why this reminds me. I used to get there was like this weird dragon in My Little Pony, I think, and I used to get them confused with the Samurai Jack villain. I don't know why, but I always made that connection. So part of this always lives next to my Samurai Jack headspace in my brain.
I wouldn't know who you're talking about, but now I'm intrigued.
You don't know who Samurai Jack is?
No. I just don't know what villain from Samurai Jack looks like anything from this show.
I'll show you after this, and you're gonna be like,
okay.
That's stupid, OBT. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
but,
cool.
Yes, we'll get into the match here shortly. So, and Titans of Alterna. I don't know if they're related to Calterna, the other California land, because there's like 3 California lands that happen in California. So that's pretty insane, honestly. But they got those people to support it. I would love to see Siren at a Sunset Surge eventually, but you know, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, I need time off from work, from my job. I'll be doing work.
Needs that. I be doing work. IBDW, man. Shout out to him, Melee player.
Wait, is that what that stands for?
Yes, it stands for I be doing work.
Does he have a job? I feel like he's so good at Smash that it's like that's his job.
He also changed it to Cody Schwab, very professional. Honestly, it's like, it's so hip now, a lot of people just go by their actual name. So, but dude, Cody Schwab, undisputed go to Melee right now. Love Melee.
Okay, you ruined my joke, man. I was gonna be like, yeah, I guess I be doing work is a really bad name to give your kid, but you changing it to something like Cody Schwab is a lot better. I hope their parents are okay with that.
That's... I guess they really don't be doing work now. They just be playing Smash games. So
I guess that's their work though.
I mean, that's their 9 to 5, man.
9 to 5. I got Smash tomorrow.
Oh, sorry, guys, I can't go out. I got to do an Iron Man on stream.
I got Ponyville tomorrow.
I guess showing off our Unk status here, talking about My Little Pony.
Unk? As if that's not for children?
Oh, sorry. Tia status. Tia status,
yeah. Alright.
Okay, sorry. When was that show popular, Siren? What year was that?
2011.
Ooh, yeah. Some of the people playing or watching the audience probably weren't even born then.
Yeah, that is true. You could be born in 2012 and be like, what, like 13 now?
And then be like, dude, my name's Coney. I'm just kidding.
My name is Coney.
Coney 2012. Anyway.
Oh.
We got, again, man, the second time the Beacon Octobrush has been on stream with Baba Fox there on the Explo there. Zbean on the brush there.
Yay, alright. Well, we finally have splat zones, but at what cost? We have that rain getting popped, and what an unfortunate time and place to be jumping. What? We don't even cap it. How cordial and how kind of you.
I know. Yeah. ZB is such a gentleman there, opting not to camper. Dude, another Hydra also. I just realized that, man. Wow. Brave Hydra gonna pop Booyah Bomb, gonna get shredded immediately by literally like almost every member of the team. Great place to be for the bucket player. Blue here, as you're seeing one of the members trying to push out here. I think that's the arrow spray. Throwing the Booyah Bomb, not onto the zone. Unfortunately, just kind of sneeze on him and cause him to go back a little bit. Very short range comp coming out from the side of Titan of Alterna. As you're seeing one person kind of die for the zone, not unable to kind of capitalize on that. Another Booyah Bomb is going to hit not the zone there, as you're seeing Korn try to push this, push against Zibine over there.
Yeah, a good job from Korn trying to get them out of there. However, with that Explode just camping by that zone, it's going to be a very huge challenge for the Titans of Alterna to get in. I almost wanted to say Titans of Alberta, but we're not quite there anymore.
That was last game. That was last set.
Yeah.
But man, I feel like really good stuff. I always kind of like showing off like Reach Slider and Triple Splashdown because I feel like it's such a checkmate on zone specifically. You saw Titans of Alterna. They actually had two people down there. Probably would have been able to cap the zone, but unable to against the wrath of the Triple Splashdown. That special, someone argued with me once, it was like, you know, if the special's annoying, it's probably actually like kind of decent. And I was like, you know what, I guess you're right. Because in that sense, I mean, it won them the game. So good use of them, good to their Expo player. But yeah, kind of just a complete steamroll on the side of UCSD Esports Navy.
Yeah, a very, very quick steamroll. It's hard to tell, especially with polarizing map modes like on Urchin Underpass zones, where I think a lot of people have differing opinions and differing playstyles, how that will carry forward into different games in the set. Because I honestly, wholeheartedly believe that, like, being good at underpass zones is not an indicator of you being good at other map modes. It's very favored towards short range weapons. It's very favored towards, like, things that just fight well in close quarters. And they had those tools, but whether or not they'll have those tools and have them apply well to future stages is like a totally different question, right?
Honestly, what I would like to have seen from UCSD Esports is like, don't those name Booyah Bombs on the zone, man. They paint. Even if like it just flips the zone there, that would have been more than enough time. But yeah, interesting map from the side of the CCA map pickers on that one, but that's okay. Only game one. I hate to see, Siren, is when that, like, if that was game like 3 in a very tense set, that's what I don't like to see. Is when like you got, I'm gonna say, a fun pick out there for maps on a really serious round. That's when not what I like to see. But the first round, it's like, you know, dust yourself up, be like, whatever, man. They got us on stupid Urchin Underpass, but we'll come back stronger on the next map.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's very viable. It's very doable. We're looking at Calamblitz on Scorched Gorge for Game 2, which is, I guess, a bit more considered a classic nowadays. A lot of people really like this one. I think most teams that have any kind of strategy going into certain stages already have this one figured out. So that should apply here, and it'll show which team has that kind of experience and really understands their teammates and understands the matchup that they're going into here. And of course, this is another stage that doesn't really favor close quarters fighting that much. You have a lot of open space and mid to deal with. Maybe a few more like ledges, and honestly, it's one of those stages where you have to go the distance to get to the basket, so very short explosive pressure does not work the same way as it does in Urchin. So
yes, you have to go the distance and also the speed to get to the basket there. So yeah, man, I would consider the Certified Hood Classic. I'm curious. I think a lot of it's going to come down to who can get their backliner onto the middle of the map there. And honestly, man, I feel like in this matchup, I could be wrong because I don't know the non-traditional backline matchup spread, but I feel like the Expo should have the Hydra paint like covered because they can slosh behind, you know, higher levels of geometry. You can also just paint their feet, and then the Hydra has to completely stop charging and then go. I just feel like, in general, I would give it the advantage to the team with the Expo player. And again, looking at these sick, I know I keep talking about it, but man, look at these sick graphics. I like to see that everyone's taking part of it. I appreciate that the Titans of Alterna have both the Inkling language and also the English language, but also, man, UCSD Esports going off with just the Inkling language. Great logos from everybody. By the way, everyone needs to fill out the weapons list. Look at that. 3 people did not fill out the weapons list. You should be ashamed of yourself. Fill that out, y'all. It helps us at home here. And also, I think that must be an error on the bottom one on the right side for EPONs listed.
I'm quite a fan of that. I'm gonna start listing my EPONs whenever.
It's like, come on, bro.
Whatever
Just
the
like 4 seconds. Just
situation.
tell us what you play, bro.
Gold spray. I like the slang too. Lunio. I've never heard that one.
Luna Neo or Lunio, I guess.
Yeah.
I like all the shorthand. Look, you got Booyah Sword and Winter.
Ripapibd on blue there.
You know, I don't know how much you're into speedrunning, but there's a Twilight Princess, like, or I think, yeah, Twilight Princess speedrunning tech called Basumdabuts. And it's some, like, crazy, like acronym. If you know what Basumdabuts is in the chat, type it out, please. But it's crazy, and I love when they talk about it. Basumdabuts, man. Speaking of Basumdabuts, I hope there's some game soon, so.
Assume some games soon. How entertaining. What a pleasant
That's our job. We're the
tournament.
entertainers.
Yeah. You're the entertainer. I'm just the guy. I'm just here.
I'm just the guy. That's when I say, are
Yeah.
you not entertained? Looking like 9-hole grains at Riptide. So,
What?
did you not see that?
No, I guess not.
No, dude. I was sitting in the crowd, and this was a crazy story from Riptide. I was sitting in the crowd, everybody cheering against 9-hole grains' team. I think it was like 9 Lily and a couple other people, and I was like, what? About everything. But then, dude, after like getting so much crap from the crowd, they won that set on stream, and 9 Lily steps up and is like, does this, and I'm like, are you not entertained? That was a great moment. It always is great when you're surrounded by haters when your team wins on the stage. You know, that's right.
I think I actually was there when everyone was cheering against them, and I was like, what are we, like, why are we cheering against them? The secret 9 hater squad.
I know, dude, and 9's awesome. They're gonna get married soon. They're buff. They work for like all the other cool stuff they do. But anyway, gonna see again triple AOE coming out for the side of UCSD Esports there. By golly.
Just awful. How awful it is to be playing Vanilla Range Blaster in the year 2025. I'm just kidding. That's just their name.
You're
Zabine
true,
here.
though. Yes, we have Zabine here looking to drop from the top ropes, kind of playing cautious, waiting for their teammates to kind of paint around them on the order brush here, looking to try to get something started here. Right now, both teams kind of just playing footsies with each other, not really trying to commit to stuff. The sword went down somewhere in the middle of that, followed by immediately one dude up top, and Zabine here gets a pick. I don't know if they're going to find another one. They ran out of ink, and now it is just the AoEs here trying to stop the Dorzacorn there from coming up the ramp.
Yeah, you can see Boba Fox here is kind of dealing with the struggle. Does have that splashdown at the ready. I love seeing that patience, waiting for them to try and go in for that dive before popping it. And now, with just the sword left, they have a great opportunity. They're able to take them out. We have the ink strikes at the ready, but do we have the clams once again? I'm scared to start getting deja vu here, but thankfully, we are saved from that situation, and we are dunking the power clam into the basket, as intended for the mode.
Yes, they are playing the mode, unlike the last one. I feel like whoever was on stream last could take some notes here. Opening the basket within the first minute. Fantastic. Way better than the last time we were here. But, man, I just feel like on paper, man, the other team should be outpainting the crap out of UCSD Esports, man. Like, they have so many weapons that just don't paint very well on the orange team. But so many weapons that can just lay down so much paint. Like, Pinecone up here trying to look forward to try to find something. Kind of looking also for clams. Sometimes, you know, it's kind of hard when you're in the heat of the moment to decide, do I need to just focus on moving or should I focus on getting the clams? And in this case, exactly, I feel like it probably would have been more beneficial to try to take a little bit more space. We're seeing the members of Esports Navy there coming out with specials on lock now, kind of trying to put the end of that push there. And again, man, I can see it happening right now. I mean, the Expos got splashed down, waiting to kind of find a high position and let it loose.
Yeah, I like the fights that we're taking in mid, but it feels like we're kind of missing out on direction on where we're supposed to be going right now, and what our long-term plan in the game is. You can see a little bit of hesitancy from the members of Titans of Alterna. They don't really want to get too committed to mid right now because maybe they just don't feel like they have the tools or the resources, but I vastly disagree. I think, honestly, even just with this Zipcaster running in, it's a great opportunity for them to try and run up and get something moving here. I wouldn't even worry about this guy. Like, no one can jump into him. He's just diving. He just wants attention. And you don't need to warrant Zabine any kind of attention, really. I think we can move forward.
Yeah, honestly, like, I feel like that was such a good opportunity for them. And now what's hard is that when you are kind of just sitting there, yes, you have the lead, but now the clam economy is so much higher for Titans of Alterna, even though they just lost a person. And are going to lose that power plant, and going to throw a Booyah Bomb. Gosh, everything coming out here on the left side. Blue going to be able to take one down. Very interesting jump coming out from the junior, trying to get that ball. It does work out for him as just the explode. This time not with splashdown. This should be an open here for Titans of Alterna.
Yeah, and a good open at that. They do have some clams at the ready. They had another power clam getting very close to that basket here. It's just going to be Pinecone left behind, and is looking to just pick up and scrounge for some clams themselves, and it is working out. They have that re-slider. It is going to use it to take out Blue. Are they going to be able to save this power clam? Able to barely chuck it into the basket. That angle was amazing.
Yeah, it's looking like LeBron James there. That was like, that's had to have been like max distance on that power clam toss. Good awareness. I'm sure their teammates were like, bro, get the power clam. Stop going for the one clam. Get the power clam, bro. We died for that. Just off, we're going to find a good pick here. I feel like they've been very hesitant to pop their wave breaker there, but I guess it doesn't matter when you're just getting picks with the main weapon there. But again, not much to come from it, even though this is a pretty good spot for them. They are unable to kind of capitalize. And again, no clam economy really from the side of UCSD Esports Navy here.
Yeah, Zabine here, once again, pulling up Zipcaster into the base of Titans of Alterna. Not quite pulling out with too much, and we can't really keep stalling without specials here. We need to get something together. We have the specials, we have a wave breaker, we have a splashdown. The question here is just how do we employ these to get an actual push? Like, how do we result this with points? How do we convert these resources? How can I buy goods and services with this currency?
Yeah, and I feel like the currency of getting picks only is not really working for them. I feel like it kind of highlights the unfortunate downside of they really don't have a strong painter. As I feel like, man, mid control has just been hard to kind of wrestle back. And also, same thing, once they get over to their side of the map, it's been really challenging. Dorzacorn going to look for a flank. I don't think they have a power clam, but they are at least behind their basket. They are going to get taken out, which is good for them, but they do got to get moving. They only have a couple seconds really to start opening the basket. As people are jumping in, they need to get this clam to the basket. Got to get past Corn. I don't know if it's enough time to actually break the health. They drop one.
And that was just 1 point too. That was just a little tiny margin. That could have gone so bad for them so quickly.
Yeah, that would have been the heartbreaker set, man. Especially if you didn't get that in. I'm sure that person's like, whoo! Didn't mess up there on this side of the stream set. So, man, close game, unfortunately, for Titans of Alterna, not able to clutch it out. They'd only gotten like 1 or 2 more clams in during their push. I think that would have been game for them. But good stuff for UCSD Esports Navy, going to rally back and get it in the very nick of time there. I was honestly unsure that the basket was going to have time enough to open. I was like, we're getting real close to the bottom of that line there. So I'm glad it worked out for them. Unfortunate for Titans of Alterna, though. Heartbreaker.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're still going to have that opportunity in Game 3 to prove what they have, and maybe that tiebreaker will be enough for them. If I go back to the bracket here and take a little look-see, I think, well, they're very much on the verge of hitting bracket here, so I think it could ultimately depend on what happens with the other 2 teams below them. If they have some sort of upset, that might get them out. But ultimately, I think theoretically they should be playing for seed unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's not going to be like the end of their run, basically. But by golly, man, not how you want to go out. But I mean, we still have another round, so kind of saying, we might be able to take it to you had we won that last game. But I almost feel like if they win the third game, Titans of Alterna, it's going to feel even worse because it's like, dude, we would have won the set if we would just have won that middle game and actually like clutched it out there.
Yeah, I guess so, but sometimes it just comes down to mindset about the game. I feel like you have to be able to look at things productively in all manners, even if it's like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, it didn't. So we have to just look at the bright side of things, right? Even if you lost, you still got the one game, and that's still better for your tiebreakers in the end of the day.
That is true. I forgot about tiebreakers. Always good to win games. I'm sure if Popgun was here, he'd be like, gotta win your games, kids, so you can do your tiebreakers good. I don't know why Popgun sounds like that in my head, but oh yes, good old poop gun. Don't tell him I said that.
I feel like Popgun and Bronze are somehow related, just in the way that they talk about the game. I don't know. It's like
Wow, all
like,
backliners are related. That's messed up, Siren. I can't believe that you would forward that stereotype that all of them know each other and are all related.
They are. I have other headcanons about backliners, but I don't think it's right for the stream.
Wow, dude, spicy takes. You gotta tell me that after stream ends, bro. I want to know what your spicy backliner take is. Especially because you play backlines, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so, technically. I've never thought about myself that way, but I suppose in recent times I fall under that.
I guess you would be more of a blaster player that also just happens to play the long brown rapid. I'm gonna keep saying that. It's brown rapid, it's brown. So
I'm gonna Google it right now, and there's gonna be not a single hue.
Dude, I'm gonna counter Google this. Ready? Watch this.
Okay.
What is it? The winter rapid?
Yeah. You don't even know the name of it. There is no brown.
Hold up. I'm trying to confirm.
It's like silver gray.
I guess the orange is what I thought was brown.
Wow.
I mean, it looks so. No, I would consider the.
Why are you calling it long brown like doo doo?
Speaking of doo-doo, man, this is the map we're playing on Game 3 right now. Is gonna be Rainmaker on what's it called? Mincemeat. This is like I would consider one of the only passable ones outside of zones for this map mode. But by golly, hey, Zavine is back on their classic, the Octobrush with the Kraken there, and again the Hydra coming back out for the side of Titans of Alterna. Gonna ride it out with their certified classic there.
Yeah, I've loved seeing the weapon variety in different divisions of CCA here so far today, and with Blue pulling out that slosher once again, I'm still pumped for it. I like seeing it on maps like this or stages like this where the ledges are ledging, and there's a lot of different angles they can take, and there's no surprise that we have several of this weapon class showing up here, even if that's probably what they would have played regardless if it was a flat map or not.
Yeah, and again, there's going to be an early lead coming out from the side of UCSD Esports, Navy there. PJ very, very much waiting for their time to strike here with the Hydra. The Brush player is actually going to be able to put a lot of damage up on the ledge that you were talking about. PJ kind of just hoping they don't re-grab here, but I think that's going to be the end of their push mercifully. They are down but not out again. We got Titans of Alterna. This is their time to get into mid, try to get something going here.
Yeah, it is their chance, but I feel like the reset of the Rainmaker on this stage in particular is very cruel. Now you're forced to climb up onto this little pedestal that it sits on in mid once again, so either by going through the grates or just climbing up down the center of it. It's never just an easy grab for the Rainmaker on this map. You can't just run at it and grab it whenever you want. It has to be very thought out, it has to be very planned. You could see Boba Fox kind of hesitant to grab it. Maybe it has a bit of a reason, somebody else wants to pick it up perhaps, but regardless, we do move it a little bit forward, get maybe a point or two past the checkpoint. Nothing significant going on here, but as long as it's not in mid, as long as it's in the quarters of our enemy, I think we are happy with the results. And we're forcing them once again into this corner where we can more or less corral them and just chuck whatever we want there, and they have no choice but to be there, because that's where we put the objective.
Yeah, honestly, man, you got to be thinking about that. You have that timer going down for strikes and that timer going down, especially for triple splash now. or they're just going to get taken out outright with the main weapon. Corn going to be on the other end of that triple splashdown. I feel like the survivability of their Expo player has been so crucial. I feel like they've been pretty much untouchable. And trust me, I played enough against TZS. When you cannot take out the Expo player, it's really, really hard to get a lot of things started, especially with how short range their comp is outside of the Expo and Hydra. Like, I just feel like their two fronts are probably going to have a hard time getting in with their feet getting pinned by the Expo like that. And also, with that hit that the Expo is using, it's so good because once you get close enough to challenge them, they can just splash down and instantly flip the situation on and try to get this. But again, we are cooled up here on the side of Titans of Alterna. They're trying to get the pick onto the Expo here. They're going to wisely back up, and I don't know which side they're going to go for. It looks like they're going for this left side here, Siren. Interesting on that one. And because they waited so long, they're going to get taken out by Zabine over there, man.
I feel so bad for this guy at this point because we've just been calling him Zidane the entire time, I'm sure.
Oh, sorry.
The French are gonna be mad. It's okay. It's okay. I'm French. I gave OBT the pass, guys. It's okay.
Yes, the pass.
The wee croissant pass. We're finally moving up past this right corner.
And speaking of wee, if you are a UCSD Navy fan, man, you're saying wee to this, man. We got it down to 39. Not the best push in the world, but certainly a lot better when the other team has not even gotten the first checkpoint here. You see Kuro coming out, man. Kind of hesitant to let it rip there, trying to save up their specials. Booyah Bomb going to come out and just try to find somebody as Zabine is locked in place, going to get taken out there by Kuro, unfortunately.
Yeah, Kuro has that splashdown at the ready. I don't know why I find this game so funny. Mincemeat is just funny. It's a funny place to be, really. We're mincing our meat here, and yet it's still metalworks. But we have that splashdown still getting deployed into mid from that Expo, even though they did go down in that process. But finally, looking like we're actually able to get some progress here. Are we able to clear that slosher? Looks like Nerves got the best of us. We would just barely whiff that shot, and that has bought enough time for them to take out that Rainmaker just shy of that checkpoint. We do have a splashdown at the ready. Are we going to use this? I am so happy to see it pop in that corner there. Able to make great progress here. Boba Fox putting in that work and doing great defense. However, is going to get taken out. Can we clear the slosher this time? The answer is yes. We are making great progress here. One by one. It's just going to be the brush. It's just going to be Zabine left. And we have Reef Slider here. We know exactly where they're sitting. Can we move this Rainmaker before that pick gets taken out? It's 1 second left. We're going into overtime. Can we move it? Corn on his own. Wait.
Oh my gosh, that was the end of the set of all time. Honestly, I thought it was over when I didn't realize they didn't break through the checkpoint. But Titans of Alterna is going to hang in there and take it in overtime by the skin of their teeth. Unfortunately get the best of them. Now, again, had this match gone so differently the second game, we would have seen Titans of Alterna getting that win. But hey, just saying, we could have won that set, man. If you could take a game, you could take a set there. It says Titans of Alterna. But man, what a crazy ending.
Look how cheesed I am. I'm so happy. I'm so pleased with this result. I thought we were going to be looking at 3-0s all day, but you know, that's the beauty of Swiss, right? The longer it goes, the closer it gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I thought that these were two very evenly matched California teams. And honestly, man, just good stuff. Kind of like how the previous set was getting their butt handed to them and they won at the very end. Titans of Alterna was struggling, but kind of showing, especially on Rainmaker, man, all you really need is one opportunity, and they totally found it. Good stuff to them. Good stuff to Rainmaker Carrier. And again, I just also wanted to highlight the Expo player again. I feel like they did so much good work on the end there, and kind of highlighting, unfortunately, the weakness of backline against like TC and Rainmaker, which is where if you just do not get that pick, they could just run right past you. And they were close, but they weren't able to get it at the very end.
Yeah, that was just the one clench, and it didn't quite pan out in the way that they had hoped. And when you're holding things down as an exploiter for so long, you do run out of steam. If you don't get that splashdown, it doesn't work out for you. And you can see that they used it early, and they did get picks off of that, but they just kept funneling into the same exact section, and they weren't able to keep up with the speed that Titans of Alterna was going at, right? So that was a great way, I think, for us to end our block, and the last thing for us to see as a commentary pair. I mean, I'm sure to be following all these teams later on in the bracket with the next set of commentators, but I get to sit in the audience this time, and that's a great pleasure as well. So any words from you, OBT, before we sign out?
I still think the Rapid Blaster is brown. I think beige is a shade of brown. If you support me, say that Rapid Blaster is brown, Siren. I agree with OBT in the comments, that phrase exactly. But you can find me anywhere on the internet at Obese Tyrese. I'm rebuilding my streaming platform so I can hopefully get back into streaming. Where can people find you?
They can find me anywhere I want to be found. It'll be at Siren Banshee, as you can see right on the screen there. Anywhere else, I'm at Blue Gamer 11, so you can find me there as well.
That's right. Go check him
Might
out.
sound a
But
little
we
different.
have been the OBT and Siren. Don't go anywhere. We got some more CCA action coming your way.
start falling, 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 'cause we'll start falling. Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down, down, down? If you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No.
Get ready for the next battle, ladies and gentlemen. Zaynabs in between. My name is SPF Drago, coming at you live here at the CCA to bring you our bracket series of our second circuit event here at the CCA. And of course, I'm joined by my very good best friend here today.
Hello, hello. I am Fufu. Again, it's such a pleasure to be here on the mic with you here, Dark. And as you said, hey, don't laugh at me just yet. Don't laugh at me just yet. But we are here bringing you the first round, that round 1 of 16. Question mark. We're here. We're here with Division 5 is what we're trying to say, bringing you a best of 3 set. And it looks like we do have our teams here.
Of course, our first match here in the bracket series, CSULB White, California State University Long Beach, for those of you who don't know, versus Heidelberg. I struggle with the name. Heidelberg University Esports here on Division 5. And as a quick rundown of the breakdown of our event, if this is your first time viewing, folks, here, we just went through our Swiss stages to get people put together in the proper standings, and now we're in the bracket single elimination series here. And at this point, this is when a lot of the points are really, everyone wants to really start playing for those points here, because the circuit series, there's circuits throughout this, different circuit events throughout the season, and this current one we're on our first split second circuit event, and so you want to try and get as many points as you can.
The stakes are definitely higher here on the elimination bracket, and I feel like both of these teams are not going to want to give up so early. So I'm really curious to see how close this set really can be. It is our first round of single limb, so typically this is like the type of area where you'd expect, oh, you're 3-0s, but I'm hoping for that game 3 because I'm hungry for content, Dark.
Yeah, no. A great showing here at CCA. These teams are always putting on a great show here, and as we're kicking things off, we're gonna see exactly what these two teams are bringing here today. A lot of standout picks here: Clash Blaster, the Wiper, the new Wiper, and the Jet Squelcher on the other side.
This is a very interesting set of weapons that we have on the field here, Dark. And I'm honestly, I'm curious about the interesting double backline pick there from Heidelberg as well. But I think it's not going to affect them that much. Actually, no, unless Bucket has something to say about it. Nope, not anymore, as Heidelberg is able to actually get that first major push going on the board, quickly approaching this second checkpoint.
Yeah, first checkpoint on this map is pretty much non-existent, and you're going to be trying to fight for that second checkpoint pretty early on here. Heidelberg using the tri-strikes to clear out the tower and keep the momentum going. We see a good pick off of Seppi here against Bucket to keep this tower in place. That second checkpoint might be going down over quickly here as there's just constant one-for-one trades, and Heidelberg clears that second checkpoint.
Clears that second checkpoint. Indeed, it is quickly looking towards a potential knockout if they can keep that momentum going. Slowly taking members down. A CSULB White here, and they continue to move forward, leaving just that brush alive here on White's team. I think we are just in very well knockout territory.
Yeah, the snowball is definitely building up here. Heidelberg wants to try and end this here and now, but CSU does manage to clean it up a little bit and get some semblance of control as they're moving the tower to mid. Now Moon trying to see if he can get a pick here, slowly encroaching against Heidelberg to try and get anything going, but unfortunately it's stopped by the Ink Mess, and unfortunately gets picked up, and 2 down for the CSU. Heidelberg is back in the driver's seat once again.
Indeed. And I think, despite CSULB bringing it back a little bit towards that neutral position, Heidelberg continue to have so much of the field in their control, and they're able to just, retake that tower, just continue that momentum that they were going with before. And, they have no more checkpoints that they need to get through. So if they're able to just make the space and, get this tower moving, this, again, knockout potential is still.
Yeah, no, things as you head to that third checkpoint, getting past that third checkpoint, that's when things can really spiral out of control really fast here. So it's a big shout out to CSU for getting things back in order here before things spiraled out of control for them, as Heidelberg was trying to close this game out here. But now Metallica using the 10 missiles to try and clear some space, push Heidelberg back as much as they can. 2 down for Heidelberg in the process, making that 3 down for Heidelberg. Back out that a wipeout. CSULB is looking strong here as they get through this first checkpoint, headed to the second checkpoint.
Oh my god, no, yeah, and this is their first wipeout, and the first wipeout of the game, period, I think. And so this is just a potential for a lot of points here. 3 down on the side of Heidelberg. I think they're finding their opportunity here, Dark, just quickly approaching the second checkpoint. Definitely going to be clearing that soon. I do think that Rapid's approaching here on the left side, but, quickly getting Zuked out, potentially pushing it. No, that push is going to be quickly stopped as fast as it started, and, CSULB White is forced back once more.
Yeah, a good push though, nonetheless. Getting those 2 checkpoints out of the way, even though you are still at a bit of a point deficit, is very good here. But now Heidelberg is trying to get those things going once again. We see a good pick from Jammy to get things started off as another one player goes down. Make that 2 down for Jammy as Heidelberg is running away with the tower here. Things can get really out of control here if CSU isn't acting fast enough here. The Kraken on the tower from Bobby J. He's going to get a clear, smooth victory to that final checkpoint. Take this first game.
A smooth victory, and definitely Cha-Cha sliding their way into that final checkpoint with a Kraken on the tower while they're at it. And, very, very dominant game there from Heidelberg Esports. Incredible first game, especially on an interesting map that is undertone. I hate it at the same time. So very, very good job there.
A good job, man. As we're heading and waiting for the second game here, a quick reminder, we are in a best of 3 rather than a play all 3. So whoever wins this next game will be moving on further into the bracket, and the loser will be unfortunately sent home this early into the bracket stage. You know, it sucks to be the first ones to be knocked out here, but you know, someone has to go home at this point. And even if you're fighting tooth and nail for that victory, it's just the fact of the matter is one of these teams are about to be going home here.
Yeah, and I think it's also a battle of stamina because these teams just came out of their Swiss as well. So going into the single limb, we can't do double limb because we'd be here all day, let's be real. So single limb makes the most sense. But yeah, the stakes are definitely a lot higher in this type of elimination bracket. So I think this is even more of a reason for CSULB to really, you know, hit that mental reset and figure out a strategy that will take Heidelberg. I see your problem, Dark here. Heidelberg Esports out.
Yeah, no, I mean, me and you, we're Mexican. We're gonna struggle with a word like that. It's
okay. Listen, I've been around like that's not even German. I can't even say that.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's not.
Now go on. Continue.
No. I've been like back at Doppel, like I used to stream a lot with like some of like the more. Are they German? I think they're German. I think they're Catholic. I don't know. We're German. And occasionally, we're going to be like, this is how you say this. And they'll be like, yes. Yes, Brownie. So I'm like, oh, it looks familiar. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, girl. All right. Man, you're putting me in like a... Oh, whatever. All right, sure. You're bullying me like 2 seconds in here, man. We just started this cast. Rosa... You know...
But you know, speaking of familiarity, we're going to a rather familiar map mode here. Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi Resort as our second game of this set. And Mahi Mahi Zones, it's kind of weird. You know, the water level drops around halfway through the game. So really going to be that first part of the game when water level still up is going to be really awkward. But if you can get past that, that's when the game really can start opening up for you.
Indeed, and I think this is just such a good map for these teams to really play. I love Mahi Mahi, and I think it definitely tests multiple aspects of a team. That being said, that double anchor comp from Heidelberg is not going anywhere, seeing that Squall Trigger and Heavy Edit, but we are going to be seeing a switch to Blobber from CSULB White. And seeing these two teams open, this is only going to go one way or another. We'll see where this ends up, Dark.
Yeah, I mean, CSULB is the first ones to lose their first players here, but Heidelberg also lose another one of their players here. It's a bit of an equal playing ground between these two teams, with Blobber just trying to do its best to paint whatever it can, using those blobs to get into around any corner it can. And Heidelberg was able to get away from some points here, but no one's able to get a good solid foundation here just yet. But make that 3 down for Heidelberg, and CSULB is able to get this first opening in their favor.
First opening and did huge points here for CSULB White here as they are able to move Heidelberg way back. That was essentially a knockout with that last player jumping out, but seeing that hammer quickly punished there from this Viper as well. Again, took really good holds here from CSULB White and definitely an opportunity to, you know, get as many points as you can here on the
But the thing is here is now that the water level has dropped, there's a lot more room and a lot more space for Heidelberg to try and work with. And again, unfortunately, the Ultra Stam gets canceled once again. Metallica is playing it out here in mid, but unfortunately getting caught by the suction bomb. And that's going to be a huge sweep for Heidelberg as they get what is practically a delayed wipeout here, with Moon not narrowly avoiding that Ultra Stam as they get this first zone hold.
We have that successful stamp coming out as well, but CSULB is going to be coming back swinging from their respawn points. Again, huge points and hold here from Heidelberg. Meanwhile, until they are maybe stopped here by CSULB White, 2 down on Heidelberg Esports, and I think that opportunity is coming back here for CSULB White. It feels like they are back at home, but it's still, that all-out action is not enough to actually split the zone at all, Bart.
No, the zone is still in a relatively neutral state right now. CSULB unfortunately still losing it out there, and Heidelberg is running away with these points. That big point differential that we saw in the beginning of the game has slowly been taking away, chipping away, getting smaller and smaller. Now we're at a 12-point differential here. It is not looking good for them as Heidelberg is just holding their ground strong, but 2 down for Heidelberg and CSULB flipping the zone. This is a good flip on their end to get things into some semblance of control.
Indeed, but it's not enough points to switch the lead out as SULB is back in control and still in the lead. It looks like a Sefi here is, accompanied by their swiper trying to, make a little bit of waves, but both of them getting taken out. It's looking a little bit rough here. Seeing that Storm out as well, just trying to make a little bit more space. There's a lot of attempts here to try and flip the zone, but, nothing is quite happening just yet.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game of footsies between these two teams to try and poke each other out, see who can get the first pick. 2-3 down on CSULB, 2-0 for Heidelberg. It's still a relatively neutral game here, but Moon going down. The Metallica coming in with the wiper, see if they can try and clean up the zone, but Heidelberg still holding strong. The heavy Splat lead just anchoring it down on the field before finally going down, and Metallica being able to use the 10 missiles to come in, trying to clear out Heidelberg, and with a wipeout on top, CSULB takes the zone.
Yeah, with that amazing wipeout, you have the potential to really just get rid of these penalty points in one sweep. Heidelberg really has to come back swinging to make sure that they don't lose a significant amount more points, especially how close we are to games and points once these penalty points are out of the way. But Bobby J here with the hammer, making a lot of space and a lot of turf, getting taken out, not without a trade and a wipeout. And it's over. Heidelberg wiping out CSU White and taking the zone.
Yeah, this is a very strenuous part of the game now. There's about 1 minute remaining. Both of these two teams are relatively even in points, and Heidelberg has a very solid hold here. Their penalty points are almost good in a way. 2 down, 3 down for CSULB. Heidelberg just anchoring it down on the zone, making an bastion of absolute defense, not letting CSULB get through, and that's going to be a lead swap, and now there's not going to be a lot of time yet for CSULB to try and retake this here.
Yeah, and just like that, Heidelberg in the lead and very quickly approaching the knockout scenario. 10-6 left, less than 10 ticks left, and Bobby J saving the day on that snipe, able to take 2 members out. That is game. Heidelberg Esports with a 2-0 sweep.
A good opener for Heidelberg, 2-0 against CSULB. That's exactly how you want to start out your bracket series, and you're guaranteed some additional points here with this victory. So a good starting here out, but it's still not over for you just yet, Heidelberg. You still have a lot more tournament to get through, and unfortunately for CSULB, you will be going home here, but you still have some additional points, or at least making it to the top 16.
Yeah, and CSULB White played really, really well, especially on the second match. It was very much down to the wire, bringing it down under 25 points each until, that last bit of knockout that we got. But Heidelberg, just a combination of really good plays there at the end, just really sealed the game in place and made sure that knockout was in their favor. But as you said, Heidelberg will be continuing along the bracket, and CSULB White will be going.
And with that being said, folks, that first best of three is out of the way. We'll be moving on to round 2 here in a little bit, but I do believe with how quick that game went, we're a little bit ahead right now, so it'll be some time before we get our next match to be ready, so don't go anywhere just yet. Get your food, snacks, and water. Take the rest break if you need to. We'll be right back after this quick break.
We said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No. Who am I to let you down, down, if you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Stop stalling in the doorway.
And hello, welcome back. We are Dark and Fufu. I am Dark now. I am Dark too, but we are bringing you the second qualifier of the CCA Circuit Season 2. We have our next match ready for you. You know, apparently you're Fufu too. How you doing, man?
I guess I'm okay. I don't know. I was aware of this bit we're doing now, but I suppose this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this is what we're doing now. How does it feel to be me and cooler?
Yeah, you're the cooler one.
Yeah.
You want to...
Your glasses don't faze me, man.
Who said anything about my glasses? I'm just saying, as a flat line, you're the cooler one.
Yeah.
We have Idaho Varsity versus PSU Caffeinated Coolers as our next round here. We're still on a best of 3, so we're going to be having 3 opportunities to see, potentially up to 3 opportunities to see how these teams are going to be going up against each other here, as we get a quick overview of what these two teams might be playing here. As well as to kick things off, we'll be looking at Rainmaker Museum Dolfoncino first.
Ooh, and also an interesting set of weapons. It seems like a lot of these players all carry very, diverse, or just a lot of weapons in general. I'm looking at the collection of chargers on the right, and I'm like, yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm not even gonna lie. That said, Museum de Alfonsino, my open map, my beloved, already seeing one leader. There's actually going to be another one, except on the scope version. But in fact, on the scope version, you can a lot more reliably shoot on the other plat. So that's something to keep an eye out here as the game rolls out.
Yeah, I honestly always forget that the scope has just a little bit extra range, but I guess it's relevant in this map according to you, but it doesn't really matter right now, as nothing really has much as I just know these two teams are still dueling out and trying to get the first initial pick here. Idaho University finally going down 2 here as PSU is looking to run in as fast as they can with 3 down now. Rainmaker gonna go down almost immediately, unfortunately. Yes!
Yes, and being able to escape that leader's view there, it looks like PSU Caffeinated Coolers is going to be looking to take that Rainmaker again. What? All right, casually jump over a leader later. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and maybe do it again, or maybe not with the Rainmaker getting taken out. What? Dude, this game is not real.
Man, listen, folks, here, this might be a lower division here, but I know for a fact they're still giving their all here to try and get this victory, because at the end of the day, 2 players on each side is going down here. It's a bit of a scramble off of this Rainmaker Idaho Varsity looking to try and at least keep things in a relatively neutral state, but strikes coming up from PSU to clear the area, try and find that one final standing player before they can finally get a good hold of mid.
Oh, good hold indeed. And Caffeinated Coolers remains in control of the map for the most part here, forcing Idaho Varsity a little bit further back, but they did just lose their... Okay, they can just they can lose 1 on each side, and Caffeinated Coolers once again clearing their space to try and get another push screen.
Ooh, and a good attempt here for the Ultra Scam to try and go in deep, get a pick or two, but unfortunately gets shut down as soon as that Splatter did run out. The Rainmaker is open right now, and we see PSU looking to try and go in on the deep end to clear space and clear a path for the Rainmaker, but unfortunately gets shot out, and that opponent with the Rapid Blaster shuts down the Rainmaker.
Yeah, and that Rainmaker is just about in a neutral position while it's at it too. Just a very, very long neutral at the moment. Idaho University still has to really find a way in, especially considering that they don't really have points on the board really any points on the board, and they did just suffer 2 down on top of that to add salt to the win. And Caffeinated continues to just play the game however they want, just because they can. Oh, there it is, by the way. There it is. That's what I was talking about. Like, it hits well into the plat.
Yeah, E-Leader is a very dangerous weapon. I think it's part of the reason why Idaho might be a little bit reluctant to get a lot of these pushes going, because it has so much range, so much presence, that you kind of had to make sure you have the proper specials to fight against it before you get a push going here. But because of that, PSU move just commands so much area, so much space, and just be so difficult to try and push through here that it's kind of difficult to actually get any points going, even though right now both teams are missing 2 players here, but Tactical is online for Idaho.
Tactical is online indeed, giving them a little bit of a safety net and a bit more buffs to work with here, but Joel said, I don't care. We hammered right through the Rainmaker, and and taking a second one while they're at it, because why not? And just jolt stings. But no, this is huge here for Caffeinated Coolers as they're what?
Oh no!
What?
Oh, that's such an unfortunate disconnect that happened here. And I do believe we're past our replay rules. We're past the halfway mark, as well as PSU Blue. Our PSU Caffeinated Coolers is past their point mark here. So we will be seeing the remainder of this game regardless of the disconnect here. But Idaho Varsity struggling to still keep up with this player, this man here. But this could turn into something big here. Unfortunately, the Rainmaker is still dropped.
Yeah, still dropped here, and I think Caffeinated Cooler's strategy definitely changed here to a lot more of a holding type comp, especially because they have a lot of points that they can, they could sacrifice here, and especially on this checkpoint that, still hasn't been grabbed here by Idaho University. That is currently their defense point, and, they can stall this out for however long they need to, as long as they can continue to do that. Oh, never mind, good night. That checkpoint is out of the way, so the lead is a lot more in danger now, Bart.
Yeah, it's a bit of more of a sticky situation here for PSU as they are looking to try and stall out for as long as they can. A good instant pop there from PSU to try and stop this incoming push here against Idaho Varsity, but they still need to make sure they last these last 30 seconds here, and those 30 seconds are going to feel like a long time as Idaho constantly at a player advantage, constantly at a power advantage against PSU, and they're just slowly but surely losing traction, losing space, but 3 down for Idaho means that they can at least drop this Rainmaker down at the very least.
Yeah, dropping it down indeed, but I think they're going to actually opt to try and just hold as much space as they can. Jolt's coming out with the hammer, taking out the range flash. They're looking for a second, just try and, and just like that, the game is over while this whole interaction is happening. Caffeinated Coolers just barely being able to hold on to that lead, taking the first game.
Yeah, no, that was very dangerous for PSU. Caffeinated Coolers there. Idaho Varsity was doing the right thing on just keeping this momentum going, keeping the pressure up, and not letting PSU any sort of breathing room whatsoever. And they almost got close to stealing that at the very end, but unfortunately for Idaho, PSU still managed to hold on strong at the very end there and managed to just barely cinch out that first game.
Yeah, it was incredibly down to the wire there. And, I feel like Idaho Varsity, there we go, was right there on those points, but it just wasn't enough. But yeah, PSU Caffeinated Coolers remains in that advantage in set number. So I'm curious. Oh, the next one's going to be fun. This one's going to be fun. Hagglefish Market Tower is going to be fun. That tells you everything. You've been here. We've played this song at the end of start. You know what's coming.
Yeah, Hagglefish Market with Tower Controls will be our second game in this set. And once again, we're at a match point here for PSU Caffeinated Coolers. They win this game, they're moving on further into the bracket series and sending Idaho Varsity home early on here. So it's up to these two teams to really try and play out their hearts to either stay alive or close out the game here and now.
Indeed. And, Tower is notorious for having those snowbally type qualities. And as Hagglefish goes, we may have that neutral that we're very much used to doing. But, once we get to that second checkpoint or, anywhere near that window, I think that's when things really start getting real on Hagglefish Market. And as far as I know, they are subbing out. I'm assuming the player that disconnected for a new player on on PSU Caffeinated Coolers, they'll have that player swap. Which makes sense with the disconnect. So we'll be seeing someone new on the field. The question is.
Yes, as we're waiting here, I do want to take the opportunity to ask you a question, Fufu. Do you think E-Leader will be staying here moving into the second game?
I think it can. I think it still very well functions here on Hagglefish Market just because it's a very open map and it's hallway. A lot of line of sight for both of these Charger players. And, neither of those Charger players were the ones that disconnected. And, Caffeinated Coolers, they're seeing the effects that it's having on Idaho Varsity. It would be a shame to change it.
Yeah, I mean, even me, who doesn't play the game a lot, is still very fearful of the dreaded E-Leader with so much range, so much presence, and it's just very genuinely, if you don't have the specialist player to properly keep it in check, what can you do? It's very scary.
Or you can send someone as a dummy and use them as bait. That also works too. There's a lot of ways around the leader. The leader is very much a gimmick, and it definitely in the zone divisions is when it has big presence in terms of mental pressure. I think that's where leader, does a lot of damage more than the actual main weapon here during these types of divisions. That said, if the leader also hits your shot, well, yeah, bonus.
Yeah, I'll also say that a lot of pressure is also riding on the leader to be the one to actually convince the enemy team that this E-leader should be something to be afraid of. Because if the enemy team figures out that, you can't hit your shots to the E-leader, then a lot of that pressure, a lot of that magic and mysterium just kind of goes away, and that E-leader becomes nothing more than a pushover here. But I do think that this E-leader on I forget which team had the E-leader specifically, but I know this E-leader definitely both had an E-leader?
The scope was on Caffeinated coolers, and Idaho had the non-scope.
I'm just not paying attention. That's crazy.
I think so. Yeah, man. Lock in, man. Lock in.
Listen.
Look at the leaders. Look at the leaders, man.
I don't pay attention
Okay,
to
obviously
leaders.
I'm going to look at the leaders.
Yeah,
okay,
I was going to say, that's your job, not my job.
Field? Which blaster was on the team, buddy?
There was a rapid blaster.
Yeah, on what team?
It was on PSU.
All right, good.
Yeah? Yeah, that's... Game number 2, Idaho Varsity versus PSU, Caffeinated Coolers. This is match point here for PSU. If they can take this game, they'd move on with this set here. And we do see a few changes, actually. The heavy Splatling as well as the Dreadringer and the Imperi Dualies coming out here on the side of Idaho.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing a kind of double anchor comp here from the side of Idaho University, which I think it could be a hit or miss here depending on how it's played. But, both of these teams opting to go here to center, trying to find an opportunity. I've seen that Rapid already putting a lot of pressure just here in the middle, not really letting Caffeinated Coolers move past this middle, but I think they might just have seen might see an opportunity to get into.
Yeah, both these two teams are still fishing for that big proper swing to get the momentum going here. The splashdown does come out, and that I think was the kickoff event to get things going for Idaho Varsity. PSU slowly backing up a little bit, but the triple ink strikes coming out, and the Waymaker to slow down their tempo here. But Waymaker coming up for Idaho on the tower does make way for this tower to move forward without too much issue. The heavy splatling unfortunately does go down with 3 down for Idaho. That's a huge swing for PSU.
Yeah, but something to keep in mind is that these dualies do have splashdown active, so if any of the Caffeinated Coolers, clumps up, that happens. Splashdown happens, but it's going to be quickly traded out regardless as Sam is going down here, and, the heavy and both Rapid are, fighting for this tower, trying to pressure as much as they can, make sure they can't get on it, but Bubble is going to say no to that.
Yeah, the bubble on the tower has always been a huge play here, and triple intracts with Scoob going in to clear the space and make sure they can guarantee this first checkpoint. A huge swing on the back line. We do see someone trying to harass the splash. It does go down. It's a lot going on across the entirety of the map, and in the midst of all that chaos, PSU Caffeinated Coolers does go 3 down.
3 down indeed, giving Idaho Varsity, a chance to recover from that offense. Grubbrains here in the forward trying to get that brief sighted to do a little bit of damage and not quite really finding as much as they expected to. But I think this is Idaho Varsity's chance to get some points on the board here and quickly approaching that first checkpoint. Maybe? Question mark? No, those strikes are going to deny that action.
Yeah, and now we see Soul Temp on the backline with the roller. Gets one, manages to potentially get another no, gets shut down by the splashdown, and Idaho Varsity holds mid at the very least. PSU Caffeinated Coolers looking to try and fish for that next push, fish for that next pick, so they can get the momentum going back in their favor. And unfortunately for Idaho, though, they didn't actually manage to hit that first checkpoint, which is kind of huge to prevent that push going. But Caterpillar all online for Idaho Varsity means that they can potentially try and force the fight here. With that restarted going in, goes wide and does not find anyone.
Yeah, we can go fishing, but it isn't guaranteed to find us a fish. And, both of these teams still stuck in this neutral position. Seeing that splashdown ready once more, but so are these strikes. Again, we're just kind of going back and forth in the middle here. And it looks like World of Sam is trying to change that, giving themselves a little bit more space, but opting to step back instead without support of their team and going down in the process. We're just having a lot of deaths left and right here, especially towards the middle. But we might be seeing some movement here, Dark.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for PSU to try and extend their lead even further. Ivy with the E-leader has been putting in the work, getting 2 back-to-back picks there to really put Idaho behind here. But as that tower moving, Soul Temp unfortunately gets caught out on the tower there, and they do lose control of the tower a little bit as we see the heavy Splatling just standing their ground, not allowing that tower to move past that initial push area there. And forced to back up here, PSU Caffeinated Coolers are looking to retreat as Idaho Varsity takes control mid once again.
Indeed, again, and seeing this Reef-Fighter from Gut Brains once more, able to put a little bit of chip here on some of the opposing members of Caffeinated Coolers, but, you know, a beautiful flank from this Cooler, opting to get 2 and leading to a wipeout. Huge play here from Soul Temp with that ruler.
Yeah, now this is an opportunity for you to try and get really a lot of points cashed in. 1 minute remaining. Idaho Varsity is down 2 players. PSU Caffeinated Coolers all clumped up on the tower, waiting for it to get close enough so they can get on this corner here and try and poke out Idaho as they're getting respawned and ready to come back in. Second checkpoint down. That tower's moving fast. You need to pay attention, but 3 down from Idaho Varsity. The smash down comes in, finds no one. That's a huge whiff there for Idaho as the big bubbler comes out on the tower to try and protect themselves and get to this last tower. This last push going in to get close to the camp, but no, it's a party on the tower. Players are concentrated back and forth, and Idaho is wipes out PSU, but they were able to get the victory.
There was a party on the tower indeed, but Caffeinated Coolers just lasted till 3 a.m. as they are seeing this party through. Huge win there from PSU Caffeinated Coolers. That is so funny. Everyone was there, dude. What is this, Smash Bros?
Oh man, I really never seen anything like that before. PSU Caffeinated Coolers were just brute forcing their way through that tower path, and Idaho Varsity unfortunately just could not keep up, and now going down 0-2 against PSU Caffeinated Coolers. Idaho Varsity is unfortunately going to be going home at this point, but they are going home with some additional points compared to losing last game here, so that's still all very good as PSU Caffeinated Coolers are moving on to the next round. And I do believe, speaking of the next round, our next match is ready.
Yeah, we're going to be going straight into our next match here. And again, Caffeinated Coolers will be going along this bracket and continuing forward. Idaho Varsity is going home today. But again, that's not the last of the qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. So maybe we'll see them again in the future. But it's now we're drum rolling as we wait for our next match start.
Yeah, no, as we are waiting for our next match, a quick reminder of how this circuit works here. We have in total I do believe 7 events for qualifying for our finals here. We have our first 3 circuits that are happening, that happened last week, that's happening right now, and it's happening next week for our first split. Then we have a week break for folks to sort of cool off and get ready as the TOs and the council here at the CCA takes the time to reshuffle players as needed for their new, based off their reflection of how they played this last split, and maybe even get new divisions heading to our second split with another 3 series of circuits. And from that point on, there's a last chance qualifier to try and qualify for our finals in December, I believe.
You heard it right there from Dark. Dark said it best right there. Trust what Dark says here. I'll trust this guy with my life here. Yeah. What do you mean, no? What do you mean, no?
Listen, I'm a big commentator in the community, you know, so I kind of get a lot of details mixed up sometimes. So
have confidence, man. Have confidence.
Listen,
come on.
If you let me finish.
Wow.
Listen, that's you right now. I'm trying
to.
Right,
we're professional.
No, I was trying to say that I'm pretty sure most of that information is right at the very least, but I cannot guarantee that I got that completely right. But of course, the CCA has their own information dockets for everyone to look at, to check at, to double check if I'm right or wrong. But I'm pretty sure most of that information is right, by the way. But no, as we are finished with that little overview over cap segment, we are in our semi-finals match. We're being seeing Splat Devils hailing from the State University of New York versus Rising Moons hailing from Purdue University Fort Wayne.
Ooh, I like these names a lot. I actually really like these names a lot. Honestly, Splat Devils, I would have mistaken them for Arizonians. I'm not gonna lie with that name. That being said, we're all the way at the East Coast, and Rising Moon is just a good name. I can't even lie. That's just a good name. I like these names a lot, is what I'm trying to say.
Speaking of bestie, where's Arizona in school? Where y'all at?
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I can't play the game right now. I can't do nothing. I can be a manager. That's it. I am surprised.
You should be a manager.
Yeah, because we have a couple of universities in the state. You have NAU, you have ASU. Where are you guys at?
That's what I was asking you.
Don't look at me. Ask them. Ask the people there.
Man, what good are you?
Where's your team? Where's your team? I want to blow. Can we blow Dark up? Can we move him? Get him out of here.
I literally just moved out here to North Carolina only a year ago. Listen, my team used to be UT Austin. Daybreak, Nightbreak, those were my teams before I moved away. I had representation. You don't have representation.
We used to have an ASU team. So what's your excuse?
My excuse is I don't have no idea what's going on here. Game to everybody.
Okay, anyways, we're going to be starting
semifinals. I'm crying, man. Okay, whatever, man.
Screw you, I'm taking this. We're going to be going right in. Lights out here on Promo Robin. I think this is Clamblitz, if I'm not. Yep, that is Clamblitz. Both teams coming in. I do like these comps a little bit, actually. I do like that mini, especially from the side of Splat Devils. I'm very curious about the Splash Pit.
Yeah, Rising Moon has a very, I can only describe as a very interesting weapon comp on their side here, but I guess it's working on their favor as Splat Devils worked out a few players here in mid. Kraken Punk unfortunately going down there, trying to do something with that Ultra Stamp here, but no, it's down, gone back to a neutral stall fest here in mid, as both these teams are constantly taking trades, constantly using specials, constantly applying pressure at a neutral state.
Indeed. And I feel like this neutral's Whoa, pause. I'm looking at the map here, and it looks like there was a lot of space here from Splat Devils, but nothing was quite taken, giving Rising Moon the opportunity to bring themselves back into a neutral state without much trouble. And I feel like the bloodshedd's going to be starting once more as these teams are quickly approaching center. Slump here with the hammer, taking two. That is 3 down on Splat Devils, trying to find another one, but is unable to get that power plant into the basket. Blizzard coming in with that Octopus, actually defending twice, but it doesn't matter. He's scoring here in the side of Rising Moon.
Oh, the ball has been opened up here. The basket, a huge cash in for Rising Moon, getting points after points after points, depositing all these clams here. As Splat Devil is struggling to keep up with the momentum. A trade between the brush and the heavy splatling there goes to neutral. Surprisingly, as the clam basket finally opens up, giving a penny clams to Splat Devils as they're gearing up for their re-engagement here.
Gearing up indeed, seeing those 7 clams ready from Slump Skull here, and a hammer ready on top of that, but not without the wrath of an Octobrush threatening their entire existence. Forced to step back here, that hammer still remains ready, but so is that Zip casting here from this Octobrush. Again, that Octobrush has been a menace to society. Once I catch your name, it's over for you. Here you are. That is Blizzard for you here, being a menace to society as Octobrushes do.
Most rushes tend to be very, very interesting to watch here. And Blizzard doing an extraordinary job just being that annoying presence here. In the midst of the chaos, somehow Rising Moon came in, deposited power clam to the clam basket just to, I guess, chip away at those penalty points here. As next time they push in, they don't have to deal with that anymore as they're getting ready to do another catch in here. If they can get another catch in here. As Splat Devils just holding it down their ground as best they can, using the Ultra Stamp to create some space potentially here. Kraken Punk going in on the defense, clearing a space for the remaining of their team to at least take mid.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that the hammer went all the way into the base, but even then it wasn't quite enough as Slump Skull's in the back. How did you get away with that? You had 2 people on your tail, and you went all the way over there and got a power climb. That's ridiculous. But regardless, Philly is the last player of Rising Moon alive, so leaving that clan basket to close very.
Yeah, Rising Moon now just playing a slow and steady game here. They have a good amount of points on their side. They have tempo control here, but Splat Devils has the guts to try and force something, anything. Unfortunately, throwing the clam bits a little bit too early. That's not what you want to have happen there. Splat Devils, unfortunately, that's practically a wipeout as well. Delayed wipeout as Rising Moon just keeps the presence up the mid, keeps the mid painted, not letting Splat Devils any breathing room whatsoever to get anything going.
Nothing at all indeed, but Koei in here pulling some strings and getting that restarter going, able to take 2 off of Splat Doubles, quickly looking towards this clan basket, but so is Blizzard as they're able to take them out successfully with the last bit of their Zipcaster, and I think they're forced to get back here, forcing themselves all the way back to a teammate in spawn.
Yeah, good jump out by Blizzard to keep themselves alive and keep a regroup properly with Splat Devils as we enter the final minute of this game. This one thing can be very contentious between any two teams here, as 1 minute is very tight, very pressurizing. As we see Blizzard trying to make something happen, anything happen with the Zipcaster. Finds one, can they find another? No, is recalled here, and can they escape with their lives? That they do here before trying to get a re-engagement as the rest of their team regroups with Blizzard.
Yeah, regroups with Blizzard is going to be going down there. So the star of the show is off the team, and Rising Moon might just see an opportunity in that. But whether they're going to be able to make this big push, seeing that power clamp in their hands, 2 down on the side of Splat Devils, I think that opportunity is quickly approaching them here, Dark. And, a trade-off and 3 down on Splat Devils. This is Rising Moon's opportunity to get something going, but nothing's happening.
I think the idea there was because they're in the lead, they don't want to risk losing out to their wipeout at last minute and giving Splat Devils opportunity to really run forward with their own power clamps there, and a good restart there just completely cuts off Splat Devils' own route to re-engage there in mid, and Rising Moon does a pretty solid performance there as they take this first game.
Very, very solid performance indeed from Rising Moon. Very much, it's as you said, they were guarding their resources. I didn't see that in the hype of the moment. But so very cute matching emotes. Very well done there from Rising Moon. Very dominant match for the most part.
Mega showing as well, and once again we're at match point between these two teams. Someone's going home here. I know none of these want to go home, especially at semifinals. You're right there at the grand finals point there, and well, actually now that I say that, whoever loses here won't be going home. They'll be playing it out in the 3rd place match, which we won't be seeing here, but we will learn exactly how that goes on at a later point in time there. So not necessarily going home yet, but you are out of the rating for that grand prize winning.
Indeed, the grand prize being points, a large amount of points and glory, one could say there. But no, yeah, Rising Moon is at that points advantage. Best of 3, we're still at that. So it's very much, it could be a potential end of the line situation for Splat Devils. Y'all gotta lock in, have that mental reset, and it's not over. It's not over. Quickly Clan Blitz thing. Oh my! It's actually going to be a Rainmaker Manta Maria thing, because this is the map of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure me and you are getting flashbacks from our Riptide block, seeing this map mode again. But as these two teams make a breakaway, we see S-Blast coming out on top, and once again, Splat Devils having a very interesting comp on their side once again.
Very interesting comp indeed, opting not to really change anything, and I think that sloshing machine is new from the side of Splat Devils, but regardless, Slumskull is already in the back lines, taking out that said machine, looking for blood and trying to take another one out, able to do so with the help of their teammates, but Blizzard is here to try and stop that Reign of Terror. Blizzard is not able to stop that, getting taken out themselves, and that Rainmaker's slap pedal still looking real yummy, and yummy indeed it is taken.
Yeah, first Rainmaker checkpoint gone within the first 40 seconds of this game. Rising Moon has a lot of momentum in their name, especially with 1 player, 2 players down from Splat Devils. They're slowly getting things going, and can they potentially get a knockout here right now? They're definitely going to be trying to, as Slump goes and paints the path for the Rainmaker. We see 1 player at the ready now, but it's not enough! Rising Moon just runs in and knocks this out 100-0!
Rising Moon wasn't playing. They're like, yeah, you want to see some real speed real quick? Wasting absolutely no time. First checkpoint done. Second, knockout checkpoint done. I see you guys. I'll see you in grands. Bye. That is what they said.
Oh man, this map can be very polarizing because it can just be gone over so fast. But I've never seen this map be finished that quickly before. That really was
never really. That's crazy.
Man.
It's notorious sometimes for just being like, yeah, we're gonna end this now. Like this is probably the most knockouts I see in Rain. I think.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of knockouts on this map. Period. Because Manta Maria is just rough. Period. It just Man, just really well played there from Rising Moon, just running off of that momentum, especially coming out of the last game from that win. But Splat Devils, I'm sorry, you're not done technically. You got third place. You could fight for third. So the glory is not completely gone yet.
Yeah, no, right now Splat Devils is looking to try and fight for that third place, which still gives a decent amount of points for them for the circuit series here. But because of how fast that game went and how this set went, we are going to be waiting a little bit before our grand finals match is ready. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down? No, who am I to let you down? Down, if you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No. Who am I to let you inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it into manual. to shape the mind. Speeding up the pace, turning up the heat. Where I need to be for the first time. I'm taking risks, I'm casting off without a lifeline. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switching in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Get ready. Here we go again, folks. We're back. I'm with Fufu for our grand finals in Division 5 here in our second circuit. We're going to be seeing PSU Caffeinated Coolers versus Rising Moon.
We have a really good set ahead of us here. Rising Moon, we just saw last time with a very dominant 2-0 set, ending in a knockout Rainmaker. And Caffeinated Coolers, who also had a really great showing earlier in our sets, even winning through a disconnected match. So I think there's a lot of potential for, a possible game 5, Dark. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you also brought that up here too, because we're now in a best of 5 scenario, first to 3. So there is to be a bit more wiggle room for these teams to really take away the crown here. And of course, to kick things off, you know it, you love it. We're starting things out with Splat Zone's Umami Ruins.
Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with Umami, especially, don't laugh at me already. Listen, I think it's a good map. It's a very good map. That said, I do think it has problems on its defense. Defense is very, very brutal. And I think either one of these teams, whoever's able to get that first lockout, is in for a hefty amount of points. And I think that's what teams should be aiming for, as well as making sure they don't get caught up in the middle. Because the middle is almost like a maze for players that, haven't quite figured it out. Middle is that your control is that top little lifted middle, the middle, the line in the middle. Cusco's poison, the poison that kills the Cusco.
Yeah. You want to keep going with that?
Cusco's poison. The poison belonging to Cusco. Can you just take this from me, man?
Oh, yeah, there is some merit to what you're saying here. It can be kind of hard to defend on this game, this map specifically. It's not necessarily lockout heavy, but it's more so that it's hard. It's hard.
Sorry.
What? Yeah.
It's lockout heavy, bestie. This is a lockout heavy map.
I don't think it's that lockout heavy. It's not.
My brother in Christ, they're in your spawn. All the way in your spawn. There's no.
There's
compared to every other map in the game. This is one of the more lockout heavy. Anyways, I think going up dark is more.
All right.
I mean, who said that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyways, we're here waiting for these teams to ready up so we can finally see exactly what they're going to be bringing this time around. We already have a good idea what these two teams have brought in the past before from their past games, from their past sets. But now, new set, new map, new mode, where there might be some change-ups here.
Yeah, there could potentially be some change-ups. Caffeinated Coolers, last time I recall, they had a leader in place. Whether or not that leader is going to be sticking out here for Umami Zone, which is going to be... Unless they're one trick, I think I think they might be, but so that leader is definitely coming out here. Yep, seeing that scope ready for action, and Rising Moon bringing out an edit. I'm very fond of that pick and very fond of that combination.
Mm-hmm. So I'm worried about the E-leader into the heavy edit, as heavy edit is severely outranged against the E-leader, but we'll see if that actually become an important part of this matchup as these two teams make a breakaway. Grand finals between these two teams to secure the big pot of points here. And two down already for PSU Caffeinated Coolers means that they're off to a great start.
A great start indeed, getting those first large chunk of points here, seeing that cooler ready for Rising Moon as well, giving themselves a bit more energy as they're moving into this offense, opting to actually stay a little bit closer to mid here and defend, as they did suffer 2 members down. Splash and Edit are the last two alive, very much under fire from that leader, and really those missiles that are coming their way as well. Pretty much every special look is heading right towards them as the zone flips and Caffeinated.
Yeah, a good flip, giving Rising Moon a decent amount of penalty points on their side, as they're just trying to do their best hold as long as they can here in mid. Crab Tank being used on the Rising Moon's side to try and flush out PSU, and that they do as 2 goes down from PSU. Caffeinated Coolers holding it for as long as they can. Rising Moon moving in. We see the flings from above coming down and takes away this potential flip opportunity as PSU is running away with these points.
Yeah, indeed. Caffeinated Coolers definitely striking back here as they take the lead from Rising Moon and are in a really, really good position to defend, defend the zone, really. Both of these teams, just really trying to do what they can. And Soul Temp doing what they do best, taking a pick, opting to try and help their teammate, but actually going down the process, 2 down on Caffeinated Coolers. This might just be a chance to take the zone back here on Rising Moon.
Yeah, this could be a good opportunity here to get things back under control, deal a heavy amount of penalty points to PSU as Rising Moon takes control of the zone here. And now trying to get their own lockout started here. Kowai using the S-Master zone now, gets a pick off of Soul Temp, and now in position to try and find another one, sharking in the ink before forcing them back a bit as PSU loses yet another player here.
Another player indeed, and Kobe still isn't off the field yet, but might just be here with his flames threatening their existence and getting taken out by their teammate. Instead, missiles, strikes, and Kraken are on the field for Caffeinated Coolers, and it's not enough to really flip the zones, and that lead did actually swap in Rising Moon's favor as this interaction was happening, but I think it might turn teal indeed, as, Rising Moon gets wiped out by Caffeinated Coolers.
A huge wipeout for PSU. Caffeinated Coolers now looking to try and set themselves up for the incoming push here from Rising Moon. We see Soul Temple unfortunately does get picked off here early in this fight. Squishy trying to do their best to paint whatever part of the zone off from the right hand side they can. The Crab Take coming out, Rising Moon going in against the Wave Breaker here. We see Kowai using the S-Blast to try and potentially get a pick way up on being forced to be used here against Soul Temple yet again. Unfortunately, going down, but that's not enough. PSU is managed to stay strong and get through that lead.
Get through that lead indeed, and quickly approaching those last 20 ticks. 2 down on Rising Moon. This could spell disaster for Rising Moon as they are incredibly close to knockout territory on Caffeinated Coolers. Continuing to take that splash out, removing any major paint this from the side of Rising Moon. I think this is it, Dark, and that is going to be game in favor of Caffeinated Coolers, PSU.
A good start out here for your grand final set. PSU Caffeinated Coolers have shown that they have what it takes to at least make it this far against Rising Moon, and now it's up to see if they can actually consistently keep this tempo up. Now, as a reminder, once again, we're in a best of 5, we're not in a best of 3, so we're not at match point yet, so there's still more room, more opportunities for Rising Moon to properly adjust against PSU Caffeinated Coolers and get things back onto their side tempo rise.
Absolutely, I agree there. But again, strong game from both of these teams. Rising Moon just barely missing the mark there to get this game as Caffeinated Coolers. They were all guarding the top, by the way, especially with ledge camping weapons. They kind of didn't let Rising Moon have an opportunity to get themselves in there, not without any sort of help from specials or anything. So that first game is going to Caffeinated Coolers. That said, looking at the maps, if I'm not mistaken, we have. Not a mummy. we have Museum Clamblitz. So I think it's going to be a very leader heavy map there for Caffeinated Coolers, especially they're gonna be in their element on a map mode like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Clamblitz Museum, we've seen time and time again already. There really isn't much to say about this map, although that has already been said. A lot of the pressure and a lot of your pushing power is going to be revolving around these spinners all across the map. So you want to try and be mindful of that as you're getting your pushes going here. And who knows, we might see the classic for Clamblitz, where it's just 4 minutes of nothing happening and constant fighting in mid before we see an explosive end game. Or we could see just one of these teams make a good explosion of points here in the beginning before finally closing it out with a stalling fest.
Yeah, really anything is possible. And that stall fest is very important that you mentioned that, because it's such an open map here on Museum Alfonsino that the opportunity to stall is there. Luckily, we have a second option to get into the opposing plat that is not just by spinner. Actually, we have 3 options: the block on the left on offense, the spinner, and the ramp on right. So definitely a lot more options here for these teams to work with here on Museum Alfonsino. That said, it's just a matter of who's going to utilize all 3 angles the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a test for these spinners, see how well people can try and control it here. And I'm curious to see on top of that as well if these two teams are gonna be rocking with the same weapons here. I'm pretty sure the E-Leader is gonna stay. I don't know about the heavy edit, because against an E-Leader, it gets really dicey.
I have some words about that. Last game, I think the heavy edit was fine. It was just because of how much more cover there is in Umami. There's a lot more angles that they can swing. But on something like Museum, that, you know, the Chargers really feed on this map because of its openness, there's a lot less for edit to capitalize off of. So I would love to see a switch to, if they have Charger in the bank, they really should switch to a Charger if they can, just to really help with that openness of the map. But, or just a different spot lane. Like, I don't like Hydra that much, but it is technically an option. But hey, I'm just being truthful.
I don't think I've seen a Hydra in a hot minute now that you said that. Yeah. Hydra doesn't really get. I think a lot of people sleep on it, but and not in like it's like one of the best things like out there kind of way. But like I think it's more like, I think it's a weapon I think people can be running it a little bit more. It serves a niche, yeah, but I definitely think there's some potential there.
It's an okay weapon. It's all right thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's biggest. Well, I play at it too. Thank you very much, and Pencil. Thank you very much. That said, I think there are definitely better options than Hydra. Personally speaking, it's not a bad option by any means. It is a niche option. There's time and place for it. That said, I'm hoping that edit doesn't come out for the sake of their sanity and maybe mine. That leader definitely is going to be showing itself for sure, but they brought the heavy edit. I am so sorry for what you're going to endure.
Yeah, no, the heavy edit has to be very mindful as to what's going on in this game moving forward. Both these can make a breakaway for the mid to see who can get that opening gambit in their favor. Rising Move playing a bit more of a slower game here, but 2 down almost immediately. PSU Caffeinated Coolers has a huge opening on their side.
Very huge opening indeed, leaving that heavy edit to fend for themselves on the side of Rising Moon, but they're able to defend just as well here, as forcing Soul Time back here, as they're able to stall just a bit for their team here on this plat, just preventing Caffeinated Coolers from really getting any major pushes going. But I don't think that's going to be enough, as they're covering more than just one angle on Caffeinated Coolers, preparing themselves for a potential push.
Yeah, Squishy, unfortunately getting run down by PSU as they're looking to try and slowly take over this plat, this spinner here. We do see specials are online for Rising Move to try to come and defend this here, but it seems like it may not be needed just yet, as Crabstick's finally being popped from Rising Move to keep PSU in check, keep them in line. But Kraken is also used from Joel's going in. They get one. That could be a huge win to get things finally going on this platform, but no, it's not enough. They get unfortunately pegged out immediately as soon as that special ended.
Yeah, huge opportunities here for Rising Mood. Just the leader left alone here on Caffeinated Coolers, and they're opting to actually take a little bit of a step back here in anticipation of Rising Mood moving forward towards this ramp. And moving forward, indeed, seeing that Reslider active, trying to get a pick, getting taken out instead by this leader. Really, really good play there, and just really good defense here for Caffeinated Coolers, as they're not really allowing the plat to be truly taken by Rising Mood.
Yeah, a good hold by PSU here. Rising Moon could have absolutely ran away with a lot of points there, but unfortunately they could not close out that push. And now we're back in mid once again, fighting out, see if we can get the proper opening. Tactical are online for both sides, so it's not really going to be too much happening in terms of proper pushes here going on here. It's going to stay in a relatively neutral state until we can get a good amount of specials used, getting a good amount of picks here. Crabstick is online from Philly though. I think if probably at the right moment, they can definitely get a beautiful swing on their side, but it may not be needed just yet, as 2 goes down for PSU. Caffeinated Coolers are looking to try to set up the here on top of the spinner, and that is going to be done here. They're flashed out though, unfortunately takes out the backline and puts a halt to this push.
A huge halt, and the Cute Cheese is pulling in some work, but that first power clamp is going into the basket anyways from Rising Moon. Slump Skull, being the rat they are on the sploosh, is doing what they do best. It might be just an 80-point difference here, but compared to how stalling it's been this entire reset, I think this is pretty solid in the case that it goes all the way to the 5-minute mark without an
Yeah, I think there's a very real chance that that single power clamp is the only power clamp scored in this entire game, but we can only see if that's going to end up being true at the end of the day, though, folks, because Rising with 3 down on their side. PSU Caffeinated Coolers can definitely potentially get a push going here, but no, unfortunately getting caught out by Philly here with the first bomb, and now 2 minutes remaining in this game. Crabstick is online once again, potentially looking at the right opportunity to use as Waybaker runs out in mid.
Indeed, indeed. And we're in this neutral position. We're always back in the building, and Caffeinated Coolers really has to find a way to get themselves in there. They have to get a power clam, and a singular clam in order to take this lead back. Being threatened by the clams that Philly has thrown out, and Coolers online for Rising Moon. So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle against the resources that Rising Moon has available. Dooley's coming in, trying to make some waves, unable to find it, but it's looking a little bit rough here for Caffeinated.
Yeah, time is slipping away. Each second that passes, one less second they have to actually get the score in those power clam into the clam basket. It really isn't a lot in order to take this lead here, but with that, not a lot of time remaining, it's gonna feel like it's a lot that's needed to get this going here. So it's going in on the deep end, unfortunately getting caught out as soon as that practice ended with 3 down from PSU. Caffeinated Coolers. Rising Moons are looking to try and apply pressure once again here on the platform.
And looking indeed, and that second power climb is going to make its way into the basket, bringing that score down to 70 as 2 members of Rising Moon continue to be on the plat. Actually, we saw Slump Skull disengaging instead. I think that basket is actually closing here for Rising Moon. They were able to extend their lead ever so slightly, but Caffeinated Coolers still has, you still got to get through these points. I think if they're it's looking a little bit weird because they have 2 power clams active, and if they can get in there and have both of those clams jump into the opposing basket, that changes the game. Just a matter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge cash in PSU if they can actually close the distance and get to the clam basket here. But 2 down for PSU as a 10-second timer has been called. Rising Moon playing it slow, playing it steady, just stalling it out for as long as they can. There's not a lot that PSU can do here other than make a potential breakaway, jump in play. Now Soul Tap knowing what the win condition might be, but unfortunately gets caught out and shut down from that attempt here as Rising Moon just content to just play it out in mid, not overextending, not letting their opportunity go, and just wanting to shut this down right here and there.
And I think that's going to be game here, Dark. Not enough time on that counter. And just like that, Rising Moon even to score on a 1-1 set. This is going to be, I think it's going to be tight, bro. This is going to be a little bit tighter than we thought it was going to be. Definitely feels like Caffeinated was the openness of the map and the solidness of the map was definitely getting to them, especially towards that later half of the map. And I think that was the detriment because at some point you had players going in 1 by 1, and Rising Moon was just completely able to capitalize off of that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that happened. There was a lot that happened in that game, but it necessarily isn't the end of the world for either teams. Each player got one. It happens, and now we're honestly, if you really think about it, we're now back at square one. We're back at the best of 3 start at this point. Whoever gets these next 2 games have won is going to be winning these this grand finals part of the bracket here. And now I'm looking at the map list, and I'm kind of excited to see exactly how these teams want to play it out here. Moving on to Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a very interesting match just because of how different it is from everything else. Oh, looking at the maps ahead in general, I think this is not going to be great for the leader players on the field. So, you'd hope that you have something in the back, ready for these maps. But if you're Rising Moon, you have the resources in front of you. Just looking at the comps, because last time I was beating with the heavy-headed, but they still won that game just based on how the players were approaching the game itself. So, that being said, this can still go either way. Oh, Chargers! Just Chargers, Your Honor!
Yeah, Chargers is really what it seems that Ivy is known for here, and it might be the time to try and bring something out new here, because I know for a fact anyways that Humpback Pump Track is very much awkward for a lot of the Chargers, simply because how the map geometry is laid out. You have a lot of corners, a lot of edges, a lot of nooks and crannies to hide in. What these weapons like to play, play into that, you get blasters, buckets, rollers, sloshers, brushes. You have all those kinds of weapons there that can really take advantage of those nooks and crannies and ledges, and that kind of going to be the bane to any Chargers or any backlines for that matter existence.
No, yeah, and it's really rough just because you're not really playing towards the middle anymore. You're playing towards the side, more specifically on this map. So a lot of the line of sight, well, it can work it's not going to feel the best. It can work. It's not an ideal weapon choice, but if it's like the only thing you have on your sleeve, then well, you're going to pick it. I would even opt to choose one of the. If I had to choose a charger, I would get off leader. I would be on camo or ZF. That would be the other options there. It looks like they are going to be subbing someone out again on Caffeinated Cooler, so they might even opt to get rid of the anchor role entirely. That could also be an option.
And probably a high likelihood here, considering how awkward not just this map but also the next map as well. We saw the preview of it, Manta Maria Tower Control. Also another map that really most backlines don't kind of enjoy playing on. But no, as we're waiting here, these teams are sitting at 1-1. There's a lot of points on the line. You know, making it this far, taking second place, it's still not necessarily a bad thing for you, but you really want to try and gun for that first place position here. Especially, you know, maybe try and get out of this division too. Try and potentially gun for to promote in divisions moving forward as this first split over the halfway mark of over already. You know, we still have just one more qualifier after this one for this first split, but you know, there's opportunities that you could probably take here, and I know these teams want to take those opportunities.
No, yeah, for sure. And it looks like we'll be getting into this game relatively soon. I'm very curious to see the player that they subbed out, especially on Caffeinated Coolers. I'm really like placing bets on that anchor being kind of discarded for this match and possibly even next match. Just because it is tower, and you know, just to have a ledge camper of sorts. And having a ledge camper on this map is really solid. So blasters, sloshers, they eat really well on this map as well as this Manta Maria, which we see coming up one way or another, whether you like it or not, because the score is 1-1.
Yeah, a 1-1 score is definitely something to really. It's an even game. It could very, very well be an even set. We go all the way to game 5, and that's when the stamina and your energy starts coming to wear down. You know, these players have been playing since around 2 o'clock. You know, not in a league sort of time of length there, but certainly for people who are new to the scene, something new to keep in mind.
Yeah, stamina is very much a key factor of the game here, and you know, as you said, these players are probably, you know, could be potentially reaching their limit. And already both of these teams coming in to fight in mid. Caffeinated Cooler has been the first one to actually lose 2 members on their team, and you know, that's a potential wipeout. That could be a wipeout. That is a wipeout for Rising Boom, running off that momentum they put in the last game. Especially over here, I think we'll be taking the Rainmaker as they're ready to pop it, and you know, seeing Kobe with this Rainmaker, who's Reslider active as well. This could be disastrous for Caffeinated Coolers, but a Reslider of their own coming in, and Kobe answering back with their own Reslider. This is a scrap here in the opposing base.
Yeah, a bit of a scramble here on this game number 3, but PSU Caffeinated Coolers are on the losing side of this. Rising Moon does not want to let this go just yet. They picked up the Rainmaker in the next time before a reset, and now looking to try and extend the lead even further, take it all the way down to 37 points remaining. A reset on the backside from PSU Caffeinated Coolers does not get anyone, unfortunately, but is traded out here as a 1-for-1 trade here on mid as PSU takes up the Rainmaker once again.
Yeah, taking it up once again, and they're forced a little bit in their base here, so Rainmaker's just trying to stall as much space here in center as they can. But Joel's getting caught out by this crab. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Doing what they can to try and stop the Rainmaker, and the Rainmaker did drop to center, so they did lose the position, the advantage position that the Rainmaker was in, but luckily it's not such an uphill battle to get him to the ramp and to Rising.
And now with Tactical online for Rising Moon, they can definitely move in quickly here against PSU Caffeinated Coolers. It looks like they're trying to stall out as long as they can. The ultimate time coming in to try and create a path, but it's caught out by the triple ink strikes and the 10 missiles coming out as well. Looking to try and properly flush out Rising Moon as PSU Caffeinated Coolers looking to at least keep that Rainmaker in check.
Yeah, keeping that Rainmaker in check indeed. But again, we've been at this for around 2 minutes, and the Rainmaker hasn't that nasty Reef Slider, Your Honor. Reef Slider, Rainmaker, same thing, whatever. But that said, Rising Moon continues to have a really good grasp of the game. Unfortunate death from the bomb, but it doesn't change the advantage change that we have. And that could be deadly! But that, oh my goodness.
Oh, and the important thing to note there is that that was the arrow spray that got caught there. There's no reslider ready just yet for this team, for PSU Caffeinated Coolers, as they're looking to try and extend their lead even further. Playing it slow, playing it steady, playing a careful game. Reslider finally coming in. As Pop does not find anyone. Unfortunately gets caught out here as immediately punished. And Rainmaker unfortunately gets caught out by the bomb. 3 down for Rising Moon. PSU Caffeinated Coolers doing an extraordinarily well job defending.
Yeah, and I love the use of that ink rail as well from Koei. I think it's Koei. Right there. And it's just using it to, like, push the range of their dread. But, after this interaction, we're finally seeing Caffeinated move this Rainmaker forward, potentially taking this first checkpoint 2 down with it. But this Rain Slider barely missing that hitbox. That's ridiculous. That's insane.
Raph! The Rainmaker went through that reslider. That was it. That is not fair. As Rising Moon takes that first checkpoint out, finally in the game here. Our PSU Caffeinated finally gets that first checkpoint. Finally in the game here. As now Rising Moon has control of the Rainmaker once again, trying to see if they can extend it even further. But it's only the Rainmaker left standing here. Squishy trying to take it as far away as they can. Youth going in, trying to get this Rainmaker, but it's not enough. Taking it down to 32 points once again.
Squishy is doing squishy things, one could say, and that is just a lot of space for Rising Moon, as Caffeinated Coolers was forced to look back and chase the Rainmaker.
Oh man, and now there's only 1 minute remaining on this game. Rising Moon has such a huge lead over PSU Caffeinated Coolers, but it's not over just yet. Well, it might be a little bit over as 3 goes down for PSU Caffeinated Coolers. They really only have 1 or 2 more chances to regroup and reorganize themselves for it, and at their next team fight before game is called. And now Rising Moon did drop the Rainmaker, though. That's a huge way to get things at least in somewhat control. PSU Caffeinated Coolers, though, respawning, Reslider coming in. Joel takes one, tags with the Rainmaker, and stalls it once again.
Stalling it indeed, and this could very well be Rising Moon's game again, just by looking at the scores and just the amount of pressure that Rising Moon has been putting on throughout this entire set. And they're putting this Rainmaker in a really tough spot for Caffeinated as well. So I think it's going to be a very huge uphill battle for Caffeinated to try and get this back into a feasible position. Not only that, and getting it further to that 31-point mark at minimum.
But the wipeout as the 10-second timer is called, unfortunately just kills any potential. The PSU Caffeinated Coolers had an opportunity there to try and win it in overtime. Now Rising Moon up 1 game over PSU means that they're sitting at match point in grand finals. So their next game could very well be the last one.
This could very well be the end of the set coming up here, Dark. Caffeinated Coolers, I feel like they were just... Rising Moon was running circles around them this entire set, essentially. I think Rising Moon was definitely in their element, just based off the weapons that they chose and the playstyle that they're going for. Definitely said they are allowed to run circles around Caffeinated Coolers, and this is a grim day if you're a PSU fan. So it could potentially be over unless they get a burst of energy, activate that last new checkpoint, and go forth on Tower Control Manta Maria.
And no, as many folks know here, PSU being one of the biggest schools here in the CCA, mostly known for PSU Blue in their run in Division 1, and not just this current season, but in past seasons before. And now they have a few extra teams this time around, and there's gonna be some expectation for these teams to do well as they're more dominant, the higher division team in Division 1 here. So Caffeinated Coolers has a lot more riding on them than maybe what Rising Moon has on their shoulders here. Not just for the current set count, not just for the current position they're in grand finals, but because of that expectation from PSU Blue. But I have faith that they actually can do what it needs to be done to take home this game number 4 here. At least take it to a game 5 at the very least and give us that extraordinary grand finals run.
We have some dark hopium here for the Caffeinated Coolers. It's hopium, man. I don't blame you. We all love to see game 5s here because the stakes are high. And I think the stakes are already high, especially for Caffeinated Coolers here, that is on the back foot in terms of score set. So Rising Moon, they're also running on momentum because they did win these last 2 games. And I think this next map still favors them a lot more than what it favors Caffeinated Coolers.
I mean, Manta Marina Town Control, it is a map to say the least. You have a lot of just weird terrain to play around with, to try and fight around with. It can be kind of awkward a lot of times if you don't have the proper weapons, if you don't have the proper specials to really take advantage of this weird map. You kind of are left to drown, in my opinion.
Drown like the ocean on the boat.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I say all that, and that's what you want to try and cap it out with.
I think it makes sense. It's a boat. You drown, walk
You
the
don't
plank.
drown on the boat. You go on the boat to get saved
No,
from drowning.
you walk the plank on the boat and then you drown. We'll see which one of these two teams is going to be walking the plank, actually.
Sure, man. Sure.
You don't want to be a pirate with me, man? You don't want to be a pirate?
I want to be a pirate.
You can walk the plank.
No,
You can
you're
walk
the one
the
walking
plank,
the
man.
plank, not me.
You walk the plank. I'm the captain here. Screw you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
times have you been on the CCA? Count. How many times have you been on the CCA?
How many times have I casted, period?
I had like a whole few months over you. Hello?
All right, what's your list? What's your count?
I
What's
don't
your
keep
Dad?
count.
That's where you're
We're not
wrong.
doing this.
I have a spreadsheet.
We're not doing this live. We're not doing this
I have a
live.
spreadsheet. Yup. Mexico número uno, baby.
I'm also hello. Hey.
I'm so sorry. Anyways, your next match should be ready.
Teams, get ready, please.
I'm being. Listen, they let me out of the asylum for one day, and this is what happens.
They're never putting us together again. By the way, this is
Yeah.
because of you.
It's because of you. You started this. Yeah, we
Yeah?
go dark in this house.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, bud.
Yeah.
The CCA's with two channels, not our commentators fighting.
Anyways, lights out and away we go here on Manta Maria. Already seeing that Tetras question mark?
That's
Dark, go.
That's
Get outta
genuinely an
here.
interesting pick here. I'm curious to see exactly what they're cooking up here. Maybe it actually works out in the end. Who knows? But Triatrax coming out, opening out immediately here to clear the tower at the very least. Slow down Rising Room a little bit here, but no one has gotten a pick just yet. We got a few close calls here, but Rising Room gets on the tower at the very least, apply some pressure to PSU, Caffeinated Coolers.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure indeed. It looks like we're in this long neutral game once more, as we've been seeing in previous matches. That said, it looks like there's still a little bit of bloodshed happening on both sides, but this tower has not had the chance to move majorly, and that might just change with Rising Moon having the man advantage, and Jolts is in danger. Good night, Jolts.
I genuinely want to know what the thought process was. You see no one on the tower, yet the tower's moving, and you thought it was safe to pop the strikes there. At least not throw one on the tower. That's a very curious call here, but now Rising Moon at the very least is getting the momentum going here. PSU Caffeinated Coolers not really being able to keep up with the pressure that's putting out here. The first checkpoint's already gone, threatening the second checkpoint, no, but PSU Caffeinated Coolers does manage to clean it up a little bit as he gets this tower at least back into mid.
Back into mid indeed, and seeing these Tempting Missiles, not quite. Pause there to disconnect. The game's over. I think, never mind. There's a disconnect on both sides, by the way. So it's either how do y'all want to go about this? Do we gentlemen to team? Let's keep going, guys.
I think,
guys,
gentlemen,
Dark. I think they might just be thugging it out, if I'm being honest. I think they're going for it. I think
Yeah,
our
looks
spec
like
is
it.
killing the match. I think they're gonna just go for it. This is dedication. I actually really respect it. I can't lie.
Yeah, I respect it too, and they were able to take the lead on top of that. By 1 point, mind you, 1 point they were able to take the lead off of that, and so it looks like we're going to be playing out here in a 3v3 scenario with these two teams. Rising Moon still has momentum, and they're under their wing as they're getting their own push going here.
Yeah, their own push in B. Seeing that Razorlighter get major value, but the bunker is not quite clear just yet as his Tri-Slosher is here to cause him mayhem, getting taken out by Squishy. Squishy's doing an amazing job on this heavy edit, I do have to say so myself, and ready to take this tower once more. I think there's someone hitting us from the top, and that is going to be the Flink, though. He definitely gets taken out by Squishy because Squishy's built different. Good night, Squishy. Fine.
And now 2 minutes 20 seconds remaining in this game. PSU Caffeinated Cooler is looking to try and do whatever they can to keep some semblance of control here, but there's so much pain from Rising Moon, so much pressure from Rising Moon. That's hard to keep up with their aggressiveness here, especially now. Once again, Sultan going down here from under the grates. Kowai trying to see if they can get another pick here. Potentially no, going down. And Tactical online PSU means that they can go on the offensive here without too many repercussions.
Not too many repercussions. I also want to turn your attention to this lead for a split second. It's only 1 point difference in lead, and Rising Moon is looking to potentially take that final, to just add a little bit more points to their counter. And again, Philly's Crabs have been amazing as well. Able to take a pick off, but they're going to be threatened off this bunker potentially here, forced to fight 2 members of Caffeinated Coolers, and that lead is not able to be swapped.
No, it's still a very close game here. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining. I have faith that this is going to go down all the way to the wire. And I like how that re-slider path just outright lied to them. Like, it said it was going to go down, but it didn't go down. And I think that kind of caused a sort of a misplay there from PSU, but it is not enough here in the midst of all this chaos. The Rising Moon is still not able to close that 1 point gap. 1 minute remaining. 1 player down for Rising Moon. PSU Caffeinated Coolers are keeping it cool here.
Yeah, keeping their cool and pulling some sharking moves, one could say. I like the dizzy bounce from Scoop here. Seeing that tactical already, opting not to use it quite yet. I would recommend to get some drinks on board, energize your team, as, the battle is starting and continuing, especially on this bunker that is just being threatened. There's our cooler, there's our drink, and the team could not be happier, one could say.
Oh, and the reach slider coming in doesn't get anyone but helps and assists getting that pick off here. And man, 30 seconds remaining in this game. PSU Caffeinated Cooler are struggling to keep up with this final few moments here. But I think this is one thing that's starting to fall apart. You're feeling with the crab take on the ball top side. We see Tactical on the tower here as PSU Caffeinated Cooler jumping in to try to desperately stop this tower from taking the lead here. But I don't think it's gonna be enough. They do take the lead here and looking to extend it even further. 2 down for PSU Caffeinated Coolers. Rising Moon now in the lead and can eventually take this game home here.
This is a very much home scenario as members of the Caffeinated Coolers continue to drop. It's squishy on this tower that defends it like a marathon, and that is game! A 3-1 set in a 3v3 grands. Rising Moon taking it home.
3v3 in grand finals. Only here in this game community can you see something like that. I really have no words for that aspect here, but man, oh man, nonetheless, PSU Caffeinated Coolers did their best to stay alive. They did their best to try to take it home here, but unfortunately, just cannot reach the power of Rising Moon as they're able to take this set 3-1.
It was incredibly close there at the end, too. I think Caffeinated Coolers got just slightly impatient by the end of that match, and I think that caused them the game there at the end. And just Rising Moon just doing a great job at, just keeping their cool as well in such a tense scenario like a 3v3. A loss is a lot more detrimental compared to when you're a 4v4. So huge job there for Rising Moon. What you thinking, Derek?
Yeah, no, I was actually pulling up the bracket to see if we got the results of our 3rd place match, and we do actually have the results of that here, as this 1st place match was going here. Rising Moon had 1st place against PSU Caffeinated Coolers, who in 2nd place, and as of right now, according to the bracket, in 3rd place we have, let me get this right so I can say the full name properly, Heidelberg Esports in 3rd place, taking a 3-1 victory over Splat Devils, who are in 4th. A good congratulations to all these teams who made it today, who made it this far today. It was a long day, but be proud for the points you have at the very least. Man, oh man, what a game, Fufu.
What a game, what a set, what a cast, one could even say. It was very fun on the mic, and I'm very glad to have been able to cast these teams. Yeah, turning aside that we were beefing with each other half the time.
Yeah, no, for those who don't know, this is honestly just the standard between me and Fufu. You're gonna, anytime we're on together, you're gonna get just scenarios just like that. But man, as we're finishing up here, I just want to say huge congratulations once again for Rising Moon for taking this game, taking this set home and taking this 2nd division, or not second, the 2nd season, 2nd circuit Division 5 victory. Man, but
what a mouthful.
Yeah, what a mouthful. Fufu, let's wrap things up now.
Let's
Where
wrap
can
things
they
up
find you?
now. You guys can find me at SplatFufu on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Twitch. I'm not streaming anytime soon just because of wrist injuries. That said, I will be on the mic a little bit more often than usual, methinks, Dark. And huge shout out to Omazen for being our spec cam here on this CCA cast. We love Omazen in this house. Dark, where can the people find
You can find me at SPF Dark on most social media websites, but more often than not, you most likely hear me time and time again, either here at the CCA or IPL, Dapper Productions, Under Pressure. I'm literally all over the map, so you'll hear my voice time and time again, and you're never gonna get tired of me. But with that being said, folks, we're done here at the CCA. Huge shout outs again for the teams who made it out today, and don't worry, there's still more circuit action coming to you next week, so don't go anywhere after that, but we're wrapping things up here, so take care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.